and this Blondie has just been slowly slithering its way to the heart. It's kind of, instead of a Hydra, it's more like heartworms, I guess. I don't know if that analogy really works, but we're going to go with it. Welcome back, everybody. Welcome back. Just opening some jacks to start off the stream. Got to get these out of the way because I always forget that they're there. Along with my quests, truthfully, I kind of forget that they happen. But that's not really what anybody cares about. What they care about is playing some Phobies, and of course, we have a whole lot of viewer games to talk about, so let's jump into it. Quick aside, everybody, before we get into the actual content, I was accepted into the Phobies Content Affiliate Program, the content creator program, you might call it. Shout out to the Phobies team, and thank you for that. But the reason I'm telling you, everybody out there, dear viewer, dear listener, is to let everybody know that I do receive some compensation from the Phobies team as a result of being part of that program. Now, I loved Phobies before, and I still love Phobies now, and I expect I will still continue to love Phobies in the future, so look forward to more Phobies content coming from Random's Thoughts. So now, on with the show. What's going on, chat? How's everybody doing out there? I hope that the weekend's treating everybody well. I was just trying to get some of my async games done before the stream. Actually still have 10 turns left. There will be a lot more. Get a little chomp action start off the stream. You'll love to see it. You love to see it. All right. So, we had a lot of game breakdowns to get through because I am most likely not going to stream tomorrow. So I need to make sure that we get them done tonight so that way they don't bleed into Variety Night on Monday. I'm somehow winning against someone with Snowball on RCO. Honestly, like, Snowball's very good on basically every map, but I don't know if RCO is one where it's game breaking comparatively. I mean, it's still very strong no matter what you do and which map you're putting it on, just because of the flexibility and the movement, but, you know. Alright, so we're going to start off with game reviews. We're going to start off with a PorkPork game review. We did look at a PorkPork game yesterday, but they were on the wrong end of the stick in that one. In this game, PorkPork is actually our hero. Gotta love the Dozer avatar also. Like, you don't see Dozer every day, in-game or as an avatar. You love to see it. So we're going to get this game review underway. We're zoning into Billy's room, and I was actually thinking the other day, chat, I don't think like, Penny Dropped was in the rotation, I think, when I first started playing. Hold on, chat. We need to come back to this. I think Penny Dropped was in the rotation when I first started playing, and has it been in since? I was looking at the maps because I was setting up the tier maker list to potentially do the map tier list. Yeah, that's exactly a DT. The bad sushi opener is why I paused. I just wanted to get this thought out because I felt that the bad sushi opener deserved attention. So now that that thought's out of the way, let's get on to the bad sushi opener. Honestly, so this is a level 10 bad sushi. It has almost 2k health. Well, almost 1800 health. We'll be a little more precise. It's 1777. That's a lot of health for a 3-drop. Comparatively, this Snowball, which is a few levels under, only has barely over 800 health. So, a lot of health. It's pretty tanky. Amazing opener, 10 out of 10, easy win. I get the sense that the reason we're seeing this is because it's going to be a win for PorkPork, right? Like, let's be real. But seriously, oh man, PorkPork is just leaning into the memes. Memes for days. This is a little interesting. Like, I get why the bad sushi didn't move forward, because it would have gotten, well, it could have gotten poisoned there anyway. I guess the risk was getting fireballed. I don't know. I feel like the bad sushi just tanks it. But at the same time, this bad sushi is basically sheep, right? So you don't want to just take unnecessary damage on it. Here, you're going to end up taking damage, which you at least recapped a point. And of course, this also deters the stabby from coming in. Like, this is a supremely tanky frontline. 2200 health, almost 1800 health. It's a lot of health. I don't know about this. I still am of the opinion that the Henrietta poison is mostly meaningless. You know, like, this cassowary is probably going to meet its end roughly about the time that it would have anyway. Despite the, like, it's going to kill this Henrietta, and then it's going to have to dive something. Okay. It probably would have done that anyway. It's a good amount of health. Yes, I think this is a functional amount of health here. So obviously we get the takedown there. Oh, PorkPork has been studying the other replays. We get the aggressive misanthrope. Oh my god, chat. Chat. We're getting the muffin follow-up for the misanthrope. I honestly don't know if our bad guy can dislodge this. What did you miss, Taco? You're missing some insanity right now. So you're tuning in a little late, but at the appropriate time. Which, by the way, if you want to tune in and watch some live Phobies action, hit up the stream over on Twitch, RTChompGG. Links in the description. Or the Discord. Likes and subscribes help. Just throwing that out there, YouTube. I know people hate to hear that stuff, but, like, it is actually a thing to remind people. I know it sounds ridiculous. It sounds ridiculous, but trust me on this. Trust me. Anyway, so we get triple panic point advantage, good guy. We get the muffin here. That's going to have to sacrifice itself immediately, because otherwise it would have been in range to die. Although that means that damage would not have been going down on the misanthrope. Which, by the way, if this bad sushi gets on the stim, I'm going to lose my absolute mind. I might lose my... I'm straight up going to lose my mind if this bad sushi... Chat, you need to clip this if bad sushi ends up activating on the stim. No joke. This is your first time here in the stream? Well, welcome, salesman. Welcome. You may have to turn the volume down. I get pretty loud. I get pretty loud. Although if you've watched the YouTube videos, you probably know. So, from here, we're getting a somewhat appropriate response from our bad guy. You know, you take the kills you can get. The snowball's going to eat it, but you can't wait too much longer because you're down to under 2,700 health. Yes, you have Bow Mangles and Jar laying into this. It's down to 600 health. But again, well, this bad sushi's at 1,200 health. Even if it gets on the stim, it's likely to die. We may not see the bad sushi on the stim game, chat. Maybe we will, I don't know. When we get the recap here, we do see a bad sushi activation, though. Kablamo, that's beating up on that stabby there. So that stabby's 100% going to die to that poison. I mean, hypothetically, they could retreat for a Clinico, but you can't. Real talk, chat, and YouTube, let me know down in the comments how you feel. Or chat, let me know how you feel. Is Misanthrope legit on this map? Is Misanthrope a tier 1 phobie on Billy's Room? Or are we just seeing the handful of meme games where it works? Timeout, chat. Is this gonna work? No, this is on cooldown. This is on cooldown, so the bad sushi's not gonna go off. That actually sucks. The bad sushi's not gonna connect. How hilarious would it be if the bad sushi actually got on this stim? Down goes the Jar. The Rambolina presumably just came out in order to recap a point. Makes sense. Got to stem the bleeding somehow, because right now you are at 255 health. That is, in fact, not very healthy. Get some recaps of some points. Get a little boopage. I mean, it's cool play and all. You have to retake this spot. I mean, this is fair. But unfortunately, that Quagmire is also standing next to your heart. Funny story. Get a bunch of damage going down, but not quite enough. That's still very much an alive Snot Monster. And the Snot Monster, I think, is going to close out this game. Chat, we have witnessed multiple bad sushi openers. In this case, we saw a successful bad sushi opener. Shout out to PorkPork. PorkPork, let me know, either in Discord or in the YouTube comments, wherever you see this. Let me know how many games it took to get that successful bad sushi opener, because I have to imagine that there was more than one game where you started with bad sushi in order to try and make that occur. I have to imagine. Just taking a guess. Well played. That was actually pretty cool, chat, and legitimately, we talked about this before. We've talked about this on other occasions in other contexts, but I've seen it most commonly. Yeah, exactly, GD. So, I've most commonly seen this sort of methodology, mentality, however you want to look at it, in digital card games. Where, because for physical card games, they tend to not do errata anymore. It used to be a thing at the beginning of card games, and you ended up with cards and even into more recent times where cards ended up just like literally not doing what they were supposed to do, which is problematic when you think about it for obvious reasons. You sit down with somebody, you go to play a game, and they play a card, and it's like, oh, by the way, my card does all this other stuff. Just trust me. Trust me, this is how it works. Like, it's not good, right? That's real bad. So, what does that have to do with this? Well, in digital card games, you can change the cards. You still have problems with people keeping up with things, but it does allow, because, you know, you can just change the cards, so everybody sees the identical card in-game. So there are times when devs will say, hey, and the card games aren't the only genre, but devs will sometimes say, hey, this is a card that we think should get more attention. We'll buff it slightly, and then it gets the player's attention, and then maybe they ratchet it back. And I have to wonder, was Bad Sushi, bringing it to Phobies, was Bad Sushi always decent and everybody just crapped on it because they assumed it was bad, and then it got this minor buff and all of a sudden it's great? I don't know if it maybe got pushed over a breakpoint or what, but I don't know, it doesn't seem horrendous. 605 Baby Snakey survived on 6 HP, and I put my jar literally right in front of its face. That sounds like hashtag arena things there, Scrungle. Oh, it was an async game, he submitted the turn too fast. I do that a lot. I do that a lot. Now, admittedly, in async, I just don't care. In arena, I care more. But yeah, that's an absolute sad face moment. That's a womp womp moment. Where are my womp womps in chat? Need a little womp womp action for that one. Where did the... There it is. I was about to say, my own womp womp disappeared. It does happen. It does happen. Alright, Jab, we'll do one more before we start jumping into the arena. We got a few games to get through, so I want to make sure that we cover as many as we can. 1, 2... Oh, no. We did 4 last night, so we gotta get through at least 6 tonight. So we'll get 2 out of the way, and then we'll see how the night progresses. So here, our hero is Celerity in the orange trunks with the sucky avatar. Shout out to the sucky avatar. Shout out to the sucky avatar. Our hero's going second here on Mysomania. Which somebody was saying, like, this rotated out already. Did it? I don't know. So, Chad, I'm thankfully not dropping a ton of frames, but my CPU usage is spiking like wild. Miso is gone. Interesting. A jar got turned inside out. I don't even know how that's going to work when it's made of glass and goop. Well, the goop is on the outside now. Yeah, I agree with you, DT. I like this map. I think it's interesting. I think I'm very bad at it, but... So, our bad guy has... I mean, I tried to get an early Crushmore as well, but they didn't open with the Gravedigger as compared to our hero who opened with the Gravedigger, which I think makes more sense. Just saw another guy with the Leprechaun avatar. There's a couple, but it's still very rare. GD. Wow, so this Crushmore is just saying, the hell with it, I'm going all the way to the north. We're going to try and get everything onto the heart right away. Now, the thing is that this jar is guarding the heart, at least from melee stuff. The Crushmore can get up here and start beating it up. I'm not real sure on why the spider didn't swing into the middle. Yes, it's going to die. And it's going to get recapped. But you're just giving them the cap? I don't know. I like Miso anywhere where I can use high five. Fair. That's fair. So the jar retreats. I guess because would this jar have died? 514. Yes. So the Cassowary could have one-shot the jar, which is exactly why it went away. And we get a beauty out of the bad guy. Feels bad, man. Beauty seems pretty good here. Beauty seems okay. The thing is that the beauty is literally there right now to deal with a Razormouth. And we get a Blondie. That's actually really cool. You don't see Blondie every day. Line attacks are crazy on this map. I could see it. I guess it depends on how many of these go down. I honestly haven't seen that much beauty or Blastomatic on this map. And there's one other line attack, right? Besides, like, Puff isn't it? Or is Puff an AoE attack? I don't know. I haven't actually seen Puff in game. I've only seen the, you know, screenshots and stuff of it. But the reason I'm calling out the Blondie is the last time we saw Blondie actually was in response to a beauty, I think. And it shut down an enormous amount of stuff in a Onda versus Ryuchi game, I want to say. It was a while back now. Just Blasto, Beauty, and Puff? Okay. Puff doesn't have AoE, though. Gotcha. So we're getting an alligator response in order to fight the Crushmore at the north. Were there any notes for this game? Beauty, Smother, and 3.0 lose to a Blondie Rush. Alright, alright. Sometimes I wonder if I should save the notes, because some people spoilers, that there's a Blondie Rush here. Hey, Honda, what's good? Both Sims are online with each other, so Beauty on bottom can usually snipe a jar a person isn't paying attention. Wait, from this timeout. This is actually a straight line to this? That can't possibly be a legal attack, can it? You're saying going from this stem to this? Because you're going up stepwise. You're not actually in a straight line. Can anybody confirm that? Because if that is the case, that's actually really huge. But I would have thought you're going up stepwise, so that would have not been a legal target. Oh, the Blondie, the Blondie. I thought, okay. I misunderstood you. Yes, this matters. Stem to stem here, or stem to stem here. Yes. Those make sense. I thought you were talking about, like, the Beauty sniping the jar. But you were, like, if this jar was up here. But you're talking about if a jar was down here and people weren't watching. Makes more sense. I follow you now. So I do like this response. Just getting rid of the cassware. You can't let things linger here too long. It's super dangerous. Now, admittedly, you're going to take a beating on both of these. Although this is a level 8 gator, over 3k health. You got the jar on the stem, so if the Hevo wants to get cute and it comes in, you can shell it. There's a lot of mean things that are going to happen if our bad guy hangs around here. And this Blondie has just been slowly slithering its way to the heart. It's kind of, instead of a Hydra, it's more like heartworms. I guess. I don't know if that analogy really works, but we're going to go with it. May or may not end up being the intro stinger for this. So anyway, we get the yoink here because our bad guy was kind of careless with this Crushmore, so that's probably a dead Crushmore. In fact, it means that also this is going to end up off stem, or off lava, but the Hevo can, of course, end up on the stem in order to get a bunch of shots, but then it's in range to get clobbered. Blondie has now made the long journey, the long trek, the long voyage to end up on the healing spa here with almost 3k health. It's a level 7 Blondie, 800 health, 800 damage apiece, and of course it could hit this with heavy metal. You do get a pretty savage AoE here from the Evo going down, but it's only one shot, so all of this is going to live and be able to walk away. But here comes the Smother Mother. Feel like the Game Killer... feel like Game Killer was too aggressive. Okay. Yeah, they overextended in a number of locations. I agree with you there, Salesman. The thing is that they also invested in, like, look at this. It's 8 keys here, 9 keys here, 9 keys here. They just straight up didn't have a lot of ways to contest the board. The vast majority of their keys, this is just a game of what every Phobies player fears, but I agree with our hero here, Celerity, that obviously they went through it, and we're going to see exactly how that plays out momentarily. But the thing is that, and we talked about this last night or last week, I talk about it a lot. 26 out of 39 keys and 3 Phobies. Exactly. Like, DT is exactly right. I didn't double check the arithmetic, but I'll trust chat. Point is that these 3 Phobies tied up a ton of keys. So they just can't be everywhere, right? They can't deal with everything. Yes, you get AoE out of these 2. You can set something up with this, but there are 2 points here. One, they can't be everywhere, like I was just saying. They can interact with a lot of things, but not all of them. And they can only cover so much area. 2, you had to, even though this is a big map, you still have to wait a turn to get to 9 keys, to get to 8 keys, to get to 9 keys. And having to take those like lurching tempo leaps means that if you're not controlling the board with what you already have, you can just fall immensely behind. So if you overextend and you're aggressive with this sort of game plan, you can get picked apart because you don't have the follow-up to make your opponent even think twice. You can just go, all right, I'm taking things down. And yes, these things are big scaries, but there's only so much you can do. In the meantime, we do get a Clinico here to supplement this Blondie. That's actually really cool. If you put Smother Mother on the lava first, you could have yoinked Blondie and stole the healing spot on the same turn. Maybe that could have put him in a decent spot. If you go here and you yoink it here, yes, you could fly over your heart. That would have been a legal move. For a second, I was like, wait a minute, you can't get around the Blondie. But yeah, you could fly over the heart. But in the meantime, we have, well, you still have 4,400 health. Almost 4,500 health. The Gator's taking a beating. But I mean, look at this. Like, the Smother Mother's not even really in position to do anything. So I imagine we're going to get the Blondie Screech heavy metal here. Can this is at 1,100 health. So that's 18 plus, another 1,000. This is only 700 and already burned the heal. So the Blondie's dead if it stays. Well, to be honest, Scrungle, like, the damage here is enormous. It's still, I mean, this is now powered down, but this is still dealing 600 at a clip. So, like, this is a dead Blondie right here. Until that yoink is online. The damage here on the Smother Mother doesn't matter as much as the fact that the Smother Mother is not in range to immediately get hits. Plus, this Hevo goes down the north. Every loss just is crippling for our bad guy here. Oh, and you get the bot. This is a great play. This is a heads-up play. Body blocking with the Clinico, who's clearly not going to get another relevant heal off, if it can even get a heal off. So, it's body block now, and you just annihilate things. At this stage, it's a 2,900 health heart. I guess our bad guy has accepted defeat here. Because otherwise, it would probably be better off to leave the beauty here just to help try and clear things out. I feel like that Smother Mother could have died easily. Am I not getting something? I think the difference is our hero here was just going for the win. Remember, they still have 8 keys left. Like, yes, you could kill the Smother Mother if you invested the Blondie or some other effort into it, but you could also just win instead. Now, there's an argument that killing the Smother Mother basically locks up the game as well, and I can respect that too. But in this case, like, and then there was just beauty. Oh, and by the way, it's still powered down. It's on the stem right now, and it still is only doing 500 damage. Ouchtown, population bad guy. GG, well played. Well done, Celerity. Thanks for sending in that game. Shout out to all the people who submit games. If you want to submit your own game, hit up the Random Thoughts Discord. It'll be in the description of the YouTube video. Or come by the live stream. The beauty that couldn't is true. I think there's a lot to be learned from that game, in all honesty. At least, for me, I feel that way because it kind of pat on the back me because it reinforces a lot of points that I try and make repeatedly. The thing is that if you're going to go that route, you have to and by that route, I mean investing in that many high-cost phobies. You really have to both commit to it, as we saw, and ensure that in the process of committing to it, the rest of your game plan is synergizing with that strategy. Because if you get picked apart and then all of a sudden it's just those 3 big phobies, maybe they can win it. Like, they can carry the day. It depends. Obviously not all the time. Especially, again, if the tempo is choppy. And by that, I mean you have to keep taking these turns off. It's not that you're way ahead and you've been banking keys. You can go big phobie, follow up, big phobie next turn. That's one thing. And then maybe take a turn or two off to get the third big phobie. If you are just kind of stuttering out the phobies, staggering them out, and they're not having an immediate impact, you can fall behind pretty quick. You can fall behind pretty quick. Alright, chat. We'll jump into an arena game. But like I said, we do gotta get through a lot of game breakdowns tonight, so I want to make sure we stay on top of it. So we'll probably be a little less arena heavy tonight, a little more game breakdown heavy, but that's alright. We'll mix it up. Get that pseudo Q snipe. Alright, so we're zoning in on Pluto. We're zoning in on Pluto, which is kind of maligned community-wise right now. I don't mind this map, which usually means I'm going to lose this game, but we'll see. So our opponent is banking a 4. I think we can assume a Jin Sting coming out here soon. Yeah, that was just a weird slip of the tongue. Moraine Sensei, thank you for the follow. Much appreciated. Welcome. Welcome. I always wonder about whether I should call people out for the follows or not, because there's people who intentionally subscribe, I'll call it silently. Basically, like, you don't see them subscribe. But I don't know if people care. I don't know if it really matters. I know a lot of people like hearing their name, essentially, but I don't know what the general consensus is, I guess. I guess this is okay. We can sustain a little bit of damage early on. Get a little hydrate action. Almost out of water already. So yeah, chat, I don't know what was going on, but like my CPU usage was spiking really high during some of the... See, it just did. I'm trying to see if it happens when, like, effects in-game happen, which doesn't seem to be the case. This is actually really bad. I don't think we can kill this. Because the thing that does the most damage is Snowball. And Snowball can't... Oh, yeah, we can. Never mind. So we're going to take a beating, but we have to eliminate this Jin Sting. Like, we don't have a choice. Our Cassowary probably dies for its sins here, but because they're gonna, they can't kill it with just the cowbell, so they can't like kill it and then leap off of the stem, which is fine. They're gonna have to commit this. All right, they undid it because they're gonna do this. That makes sense. Get a stabby follow-up. Honestly, if I were them, I'd want something quicker to try and reinforce this immediately, but I get it. We're taking a ton of damage, so we can't hang out like this for very long. We only have 3 keys. We weren't able to bank at basically any stage. You know what, we're gonna go 2-1. But what are we gonna go? So we're body blocking partially for the jar and also to get this in position so that we can recap a point. It's really just to alleviate pressure. They're not going to kill anything with this. And if they leave it there twice just to hold the point, we'll kill it and then recap, so that's fine. I guess they could do this. It still won't die, though. That's kind of brutal. So we have to kill this and then recap like 2 points. For a second, I thought this was actually going to kill the cat, and I was going to be super upset, but this is fine. I mean, it's not fine, but it is what it is. So we have to play forward a lot, because we're now down to just over 2k health. So this will do 700. The problem is, I think they recap 2 of these this turn. Like, obviously, Bachelor can go down here. They could kill this and then cap this with a Murder Wing. But I kind of expected them to do this. They could instead kill the Mopsy. Or Flopsy, rather. I don't know why I said Mopsy. So I think we can kill this through a combination of different things. That's a jar. You open an arena game, they pull out Eternal Knight and a Cassowary, they kill my knight, then I use the knight to put Cowbell onto their... Oh, and I gotta read that more closely, because I'm a little distracted at the moment there, Scrungle. Got a little bit of things going on. Got a few things going on. We needed to do this way differently. God damn it. This was super bad. So what we needed to do was do this way earlier in the turn, so that it damaged this, and then we could pull like this onto here. But instead, I just botched this. So you can see where the obvious damage is going to get done here. We can still muffin this to keep it alive, but I don't know that that's going to be enough. Because if I had hit this with the Murder Wing dies, which might have been better. I don't know. I don't think so, but... Yeah, I think this is a better play. You still kill this. Because, like, what did they get before? The Clinico? Who cares about that? Like, that's irrelevant. Nah, that's not gonna work. Oh, I botched this turn, chat. Or that last turn. Oh, boy. We have to send the snowball out. We don't really have a choice. We have to recap a point. We just can't afford to take any more damage. 1,600 health. Somebody ping me in Discord, but I can't take a peek. Too many things going on. Too stressful, chat. I'm too stressed. Alright, so Clinico is gonna die. We can kill this without having to lose it, which is nice. And they went for Finnegan. Level 5 Finnegan, huh? Did we win this just... If we win this, is this because of levels, chat? I didn't check their levels, but it felt like... Okay, so they went sheep instead. That makes more sense, I think. You still kill the thing? Yeah. They can't actually one-shot this. They're out of keys. We should be okay. Famous last words, but we'll see. I mean, they have to walk into us on the stim, which cannot possibly be good. So, with the jar and the panic point, it would just immediately die to the sheep. I mean, realistically, it doesn't matter, right? But, GG. GG. We managed to squeak one out. Honestly, chat, I have to imagine, we'll go and look, but I have to imagine I only won that on the back of levels, because the last few phobies that they put out there felt like they were just supremely under-leveled, and I wasn't paying attention to the rest. Oh, yeah, we beat them because of levels. We beat them because of levels. Like, look at this. I'm calling this out not to be like, oh, good job me, I did such a great job winning, going second on Pluto. I won this game because our opponent probably whiffed on a bunch of breakpoints. Like, this is level 6. This is level 7. Certified levels moment, good lord, yeah. Imagine if, you know, like, their Jin Sting, instead of being level 8... I mean, this was a reasonable level Jin Sting. It's under-leveled, but not level 6 or level 5 like we saw in some of those other stuff. Or from some of the other stuff. What level was the stabby? Level 6. Yeah, we won this game because of levels, chat. And I call this out because it is a big meme. It is a meme that, like, oh, well, A, you can beat people who are higher level than you. Yes, it's true. But it is an advantage. And it's also a constant talking point about the game where the levels matter. And you can't say that they don't. There were times where either their thing died when it shouldn't have, or my thing survived when it shouldn't have, simply because of the levels. Alright, chat, we are back. We are back. So my CPU usage, I'm telling you, chat. So the change I made is that I added a replay buffer, so that way I can try and test out a few different things. Namely, I want the clip button available to me so I can add it to, like, a Stream Deck, which I don't have. I ordered, like, a $10 keypad, USB keypad, so that way I can put, like, the clip button on it, so it'd make it a little bit easier, so I don't have to, like, click out of it and go to the different parts of in OBS to make it happen. I want to try it, but I wanted to test it tonight. Problem is that I'm watching the CPU spike, and I'm hoping that the stream isn't, like, super choppy or anything as a result. It doesn't say I'm dropping frames or anything like that. Or skipping frames, for that matter. So hopefully everything looks normal. But if you see this on YouTube, and it's happening, my bad. That's why. Let me know if that's the case, and I'll turn it off. Just because it makes it easier that way for me to clip stuff instead of always trying to make chat do it or something. And it's easier to find things within the stream afterwards if I'm trying to edit for stuff. So is Slammerhead underrated? Honestly, I think I've seen Slammerhead in legitimately 2 games in my entire Phobies career. So I have no idea how to evaluate it. I have to assume that it's not good, or maybe it's a ton of groupthink. That everybody thinks it's bad, so therefore it's bad. I've never really subscribed to that, but it is easy to fall into that trap. And that's why a lot of the better players, for any game for that matter, will discover these things. It's like, oh, well, in this scenario, it might work out. If you ever meet me, that count is going up, fair. I would like to use Slammerhead. I've talked about it before that I feel that Slammerhead is an honorary good boy. It's an honorary good boy. I thought Slammerhead was 4. How much does it cost? Is it 5? Am I on album? Oh, there it is. I'm looking down here and I'm like, where is Slammerhead? It's literally the first one. The biggest issue with Slammerhead... is that it's the 4 cost. Like, that's the big thing at the end of the day. It's just clunky enough. Slammerhead is amazing and the boop doesn't have a cooldown on it. Yeah, I mean, that's the big advantage, but you could get it for much cheaper in Finnegan, right? Finnegan is clearly less tanky, but this is kind of a cassowary versus primate sort of discussion, where most of the time, if you want a low-cost boop, aka you're trying to avoid waiting until Rambolina or Repeller or something like that, you could probably do the boop scenario with Finnegan and still be fine. I don't know, it's a little clunky, is why I think people aren't using it. Maybe the damage is low too. I don't know if it actually has the highest HP. It does seem pretty high. Like, it's almost 2,000. I mean, mine's level 3. But I'd have to look at the spreadsheet again. Because the main thing is trying to compare it on apples-to-apples terms. If you're comparing, like, my level 3 Slammerhead to my level 10 Sheeping Gas, well, it doesn't look like a good comparison for Sheeping Gas, who typically is kind of tanky. This has less health than my level 3 Slammerhead, so it is a lot. But we don't really get a sense of how much more. Somebody else who could do the 3% calculations their head faster than I can probably do it, but is it what you need? I don't know. Level 6 Slammerhead is 2k. Alright. Hydra cost 4. Also true. I mean, at 300 or 400 damage, Finnegan is a lot of time and XP. Again, it's most pushes or special effect phobies are targeted specifically, so if it does damage and can tank a good push, well, then it's pretty good. Yeah, for Finnegan, the main question is going to be, can it sit on the periphery with its low health to be able to get the boop in? That's all that matters. It's the same thing as a cassowary leap. Can you hang around and do it? Now, cassowary is a little different because it's a ranged attack, essentially, whereas Finnegan is going to have to be melee. So you have to offer it up a little bit more. I don't know. I'm not sure. I don't see either of them, really, so infer from that what you will. Level 11, 2340 HP, 455 damage. I don't think you really care about the damage, for the most part. I mean, you care. There are times where Slammerhead's going to have to attack, but I have to imagine that you're putting it out there specifically to set up a boop. Man, lucky enough to see Rusty in the game. I've only seen Rusty once, I think. I saw Rusty once, somebody played it against me, and it was on Scopos... No, not Scoposium. It was on Like and Subscribe, and I specifically remember because I was streaming, and I distinctly recall saying something like, holy crap, what is this thing? It's adorable. I've never seen it before. You know, it was early on in my playing career. And then this showed up, and I'm like, it doesn't seem very good. Unbearable and Klopster have the same HP. Honey Bear and Hydra have more among the 4 costs. That's fairly tanky, then. It's fairly tanky. Unbearable feels less tanky than I used to think. But it's also, because of the 1 movement, it's lost a lot of value for me. Seeing Rusty in a game is like winning the lottery. I think I'd rather win the lottery, but, you know, that's just me. With that head and those little teeth, you'd think it'd do a bit more damage. Well, that's the problem. It has itty-bitty teeth. It has itty-bitty teeth. And I have to... If it's anything like a regular shark, this isn't necessarily bone. This could just be cartilage. The time is like, oh, he's cute, and then kill it with Hevo. Yep, kill it with fire. The odds are so low. Elise IRL, thank you for the follow. Much appreciated. Welcome. Alright, chat. We got to get some more game reviews underway. Don't want to fall behind. Let me check what is this message in Discord? Oh, apparently I finished a game with Gold Nation. I don't remember that. I'll be honest. So, chat, if you're not familiar, if you're not in the Discord, there is a league reporting section. So there's a bot that was built for actually a different game, a physical card game. And I'm mostly just filling silence as I'm looking for this game. But the bot was designed so that you could do intra-Discord league games. The idea is, you know, person A says, I'm throwing down the gauntlet, person B, let's play. And then they send a frenemies request or vice versa. And then you just play a game for funsies, and it's just kind of for bragging rights. But I swear, it has forever confused everybody. And nobody knows how to use it, or when, or why, and, like, it's fine. It's just kind of funny. It's kind of funny. Is there a way for me to submit a game review for Slammerhead and how I'd be able to do it? Yeah, hit up the Discord, salesman. I see DT's already got me covered, but there are instructions in there. I'm probably going to be revamping the process to make it a little more streamlined soon, but if you drop a game in there, I'll add it to the list. It'll detail all the information I need. Basically, it's you, your opponent, when it happened, and please pin the game, because otherwise it might fall off your profile. Alright, so this is another game with Karth as the bad guy. Karth, if you are watching this, I'm sorry. Over the last 2 days, you have been the final boss in a variety of games, so shout out to Karth, who is our bad guy. But our hero here is Lucker 3D. Or Luck Red? I don't know. I assumed it was Lucker, because that was a thing in... and I don't want to insult... don't take this as an insult. But it was kind of a insult in in Warcraft 3 games and a variety of other games where there was some RNG involved in what items you got in Warcraft 3. So people would call someone that when they got super lucky by getting a super awesome item. That's why I went to that. But it might be Luck Red. I don't know. If you're watching this on YouTube, let me know how your name is appropriately pronounced. And that goes for anybody else. Correct me if I'm screwing up your names. But anyway, we're getting some fairly standard openers, other than Karth, who is elected to bank to 9 keys. Yeah, exactly, Scrungle. Yes. So, banking to 9 keys precisely for Evo 3.0. I imagine we're going to see a similar thing go down here that we saw on the earlier Mysomania game review, where ultimately, you know, you spent so much time investing in this and then didn't get the value for it. The difference here is, oh, actually, we're going to see something different. So I'll finish this thought, and then we'll explain what's different here. The thought to finish is that in the Mysomania game, a lot of effort was spent on high-key phobies. It was a very choppy game. A lot of the panic point advantage and tempo was going to our hero, because the bad guy banked for a lot of big stuff. In this game, the difference is it was a 1-to-1 panic point advantage. There wasn't necessarily any reason for Karth to really force things to happen. They could absolutely had time. But here, we do see Zappy. And I see DT already took turret power. Yeah, Zappy. Is Zappy the... No, Dozer would be the best turret, air quotes. Dozer would probably be the best turret. It is the biggest, the tankiest, and also has the highest damage output. But Zappy gets up there between the counterattack, the regular damage output, and of course, in this case, the electrical damage. One of the big drawbacks of going with something like Evo 3.0 this early in the game. Typically, you want these big phobies as closers when you know that your opponent is very limited on what options they have to answer it. By the way, what level is this? This is a level 17 Evo 3.0, chat. Just throwing that out there. So we appropriately get the retreat here from the jar. The Zappy advances, because there's really nothing... I can't decide whether Dozer or Blasto is Omega Turret. I feel like it's Dozer, but I get the argument, DT. Like, I can... It's not... Yes, it's definitely Dozer. I can see a compelling argument for Blasto. Or Blast Zero, as we learned earlier today. Oh my god, are you serious right now? Speaking of Dozer... Look at this board state, chat. Lechonk. He has no weaknesses. A lot of other phobies is a weakness. 4,500 health. Chat. That is a big boy. That's a big boy with his adorable little cape. Look at this little cape. Look at this. It's fantastic. Oh boy, how... Oh my god, but we have a heartbreaker, chat. Chat, what is happening in this game? Are there any notes for this? I'm gonna find... Heartbreaker and Zappy versus Dozer in 3.0. Really enjoyed playing around Hevo's AoE on this one. Dozer is vulnerable to disease? I mean, everything is, I guess. To a degree. We watched a bunch of Karth games, and we didn't see any Dozers on us, so I'm surprised. Imagine if either player used their keys while the other person banked. Yeah, but that's way less fun, Luffy. You should know that. You should know that. You ate a lot of donuts? True. So the Heartbreaker's positioning, we're actually getting the pull on the Leaper Karn here, which I guess makes sense, because otherwise the Leaper Karn keeps the Heartbreaker out of commission anyway. The life of Dozer is more than half of the total life of phobies I play with. So I guess this positioning was originally like, oh, well, I'm going in. Oh, wait, I can't because Zappy's there. And it would have been in range of the jar if it was in this spot. I guess maybe you tank the Zappy hit, but not the Zappy and the jar. That's a little too much. So we do get an invade here. This allows damage to go down on the heart. We get Dozer into position. And we get a freeze on the Zappy. Or maybe not a freeze, but a lockdown. This is kind of dicey because this Hevo could go in on the stem. How long until this should have one more turn? 2 more turns. Ugh, that's not good. So Karth is out of keys, by the way. They have to win with a Cat, a Dozer, and a Hevo 3.0. In fact, we do see the invade here. Wow, chat, did you see how much damage that reflected? Watch the damage here on the Hevo. Hevo here. 2k health. Hits the Zappy. 872 damage. I know that's how math works, but still, like, that is wild. All of a sudden, I mean, this board this is insane, chat. Granted, I don't think this Hevo's long for the World Cup, because Heartbreaker actually does a lot of damage. 545 here. The Hevo goes down. Effectively, Hevo and Cat traded for Zappy and Stabby. I mean, not awful, but, you know. Do we get the Sheep here? Obviously, there's no protection from poison at this stage. And we get the Heartbreaker Yoink, which means Sheep connects, Cat's going to connect, Jar's going to connect. That was 4,500 health. A meager 1853 right now, and it's going to be lower. This was well played. This is also the last turn, but well played to our hero. This was well done. Because there are a lot of times where you see that sort of stuff comes down, and you just go, I'm toast. Like, what am I supposed to do with this? I just lose. But some clever plays here. Some clever plays, and also some disciplined plays. So the difference here is, there's a lot of ways to win a game of Phobies, right? Hold on. I don't think Dozer would have that big of a smile on his face in this situation. You might be right, Scrungle. Rip Dozer ate too many donuts. Yeah, my man's got to get on the treadmill. Get that double movement speed. The single movement speed is killing him. But what I was trying to get out a moment ago, chat, was that there's a lot of ways to win a game of Phobies, right? And I'm not talking about punching the heart or killing their Phobies. You can make an awesome play. Like, we had a highlight clip from the other night where, and because I was just thinking about it before the stream, because I was trying to pull it for highlights, where it was 2 boops, or 2 yoinks in a single turn, and then 2 boops in that same turn in order to end up just demolishing the opponent's board. You can get like a crazy play with a Mount Crushmore or a Gravedigger where you break a block, reposition something else, do a double yoink, and then bam, you suddenly blow your opponent out. We've seen tons of Luffy plays where it's these wild attractor pulls into spider pulls into something else. We've seen a lot of strong plays from a lot of players where it's just, man, that is highlight reel worthy. There are other games where it's just, okay, well, you know, you just played solid and you beat your opponent. But there's also what I'm going to call, it's similar to the second category, but disciplined plays, where you just constantly are mapping out the appropriate scenarios and making sure that, as we saw in that last game, that you're dancing around the Hevo so that you're not getting caught by Splash. Don't ever give them that slight advantage, because those slight advantages end up adding up over the course of a game, and then maybe 2 or 3 of those Phobies die and don't make it to the end of the game. And that's the thing, is that you end up with these little things that, yes, it's a big scary board to stare down, but you may have ended up winning it instead of losing it if you lost, because you didn't make the disciplined plays of ensuring, oh, well, I forgot to move this thing. It's going to get caught with a little bit of splash. That's not a big deal. But then that thing dies in 1 hit instead of 2, or to, you know, fire on the ground or poison or something else later in the game, a couple turns later, that it wouldn't have died to. Basically what it comes down to. May end up being in that just generally solid gameplay category, but I feel like it's a relevant enough subset to call out. Paddle's known to have a lucrative personal gym trainer business. I really need to start remembering that I had paddles while in game. That's how I was with Morty DT. I know that feel. I know that feel. Alright, just cleaning up the channel here. Cleaning up the channel here. We'll do one more. We'll do one more and then maybe play some games. We still have a ton of games in here. And I see Salesman got it. Nice. Alright, so where is this? We'll probably do a bunch of replays tonight, chat. I know in the past, and even recently, I've said I want to try and only do 10. We may get a couple extra just so that way I can chip away at it. I want to try and keep it to 10 so I can make sure that I'm playing games. I want to try and keep getting gold packs, but we'll play it by ear. Dozer chuckle, I'm in danger. Alright, so Ram Ram versus... Here, wait, is it this one? Make sure we're looking at the right game. Yes. So the notes here, even though it's a loss on my part, it was a thrilling game with ups and downs, not able to see the winner until the last turn. So shout out to our hero here, Ram or Crazy Stripes, for submitting a loss. Again, we don't always get those. We rarely get those, to be honest, because naturally everybody wants to show off a little bit, and I can respect it. But it's important to take stock of your losses and see where you could improve. So we get a little abnormal opener from our bad guy here with the Resurrect Phobie and Bachelor. Neither of which I'm super excited about early in the game because you can't really leverage the pole. It's easier to set up a scenario where the Resurrect Phobie dies. Actually, like true death. But we get somewhat standard from our hero in 2-1-1 with the 1-drops and Cassowary. The Cassowary gives you a lot of flexibility on this map. But we get an aggressive play here from our hero, going to a 4-1 panic point advantage. Now, I think what needed to happen here is this needs to be up a space. It doesn't necessarily have to be here because then it's in range of the jar, or here because it's in range of the jar, but at least here, so that way the jar can't get 2 hits. That may not matter. I mean, this thing is only 200 health, so it probably kills this, walks away, and something runs in. But make them think about the jar. Maybe put the Murder Wing here. Because they're not going to kill the Murder Wing in this position, even if they hit with this and this. They might get it if they have a Jackalope King. Because this is only a level 6 Murder Wing. So I could see maybe not putting it here, but I feel like you got to be up farther to at least make them think about the Murder Wing coming in. Yeah, Twitch has not been great about the delay, sometimes struggle. So we of course see all the 1-drops go down. That's kind of expected. And the problem here is that this Murder Wing can't really do much. But you do get the elimination here, which is what counts. We should see a dead Cassowary, though. My Singing Monsters? What the hell is that, Onda? Or is that like a weird Phobies reference? I don't get it. So we did, in fact, get the enemy meatball going down, so that means there's not going to be a meatball alive or available for this Murder Wing. I like the placement here on the mid to a degree. Yeah, I guess this is fine. So being on the mid means they can't recap it. You get the aggressive invade with the Resurrect Phobie, so that means it's safe. You do risk a snowball coming in, but odds are the Bow Mangles does as much damage as a snowball here. All this Jackalope stuff is looking like family drama right now. Alright, so we get some softening up of the creepy clown here, and then of course a retreat. This makes sense. I don't agree with this, though. I don't like the idea of leaving this here. It does body block, but this Gin Sting is not in danger. It feels like you're just asking this thing to die. I don't know. So we actually get an aggressive invade from our bad guy, following up with Thematic Ginsting to recap the points and make it blue panic point advantage. So you can't even hang out here in order to kill, say, the Murder Wing, because you're going to end up losing too much stuff. Well, I guess you can get the Murder Wing this way. So this Ginsting retreats. Okay, so you're going to lose the Murder Wing. 6 keys to 6 keys. This felt just a little over-aggressive from our hero, overall. This is a bold move from the bad guy, because you could get 3 hits plus something out of stim. How much is this? That's 8, 12, we'll say 13. Gotta do 800 with 3 keys, probably not gonna happen. I guess that's pretty safe. So you just take the Bowmangle's kill. It might have been worth moving the Stabby up and just accepting the damage, because they're not going to kill it, and if they try to kill it, then you definitely kill this thing, right? Because you'll get 2 Stabby hits, a Ginsting hit, one of these, so 4, 8, 12, 16. Plus a jar should be 20. Yeah, you should get it. You should get it. And we get the Erratic as the final phobie from the bad guy, so it's 2 phobies to at least 4. So what I think our hero here should do is probably block with the Crush more. Oh, okay. They're blocking here. I was going to say, oh no, are they going to attack, but... Clinico being the final phobie. That's interesting. So we obviously get the Erratic... Well, maybe not obviously, but we get the Erratic going in against the enemy Ginsting. The block here actually does cause some problems for our hero. Because you can't necessarily hold the points all that easily. Yeah, you have to back off here. But this Ginsting is going to get hit twice. So it is dead. Because this can move up, cap a point, and then the Erratic comes in behind it. And the Erratic is going to splash for extra. Honestly, it might have been better just to run the Ginsting away. Yes, the Crushmore gets hit twice, but you still have a Ginsting alive, and your Crushmore is going to live. Or would it? It should, because it got hit with Splash Bees here. So it'd have 300 more health or so. It should live, and then you can Clinico the Crushmore with your live Ginsting hanging out here, which would be damaged, admittedly. Basically, you just need to eliminate one of these phobies. And this is where the block is problematic. Oh, no. See, what should have happened here is you come down here. Wait, where was the Clinico? So if you come down here with the Crushmore and break this block, you can then move the Stabby back and then slide the Clinico here. And then everything's out of range. Like, your opponent has to advance. And then you're going to have Stabby and Crushmore ready to greet them if they walk into range. And then you have Panic Point advantage again. Instead of going up here and trying to attack. Oh, you're blocking. Okay. Okay. I mean, I still don't agree with that, because now you're funneling... Here's the problem. Like, you made a choke point, which might be okay, because you have a lobber. But your opponent wants a choke, so everything's clustered with this. And you have to commit into them. They don't have to commit into you unless they want to, which apparently they do here. Oh no. This thing just barely lives, which means that this is going to heal so much. The Erratic is going to heal so much. Because it gets the double hit. You can't fight into the Erratic now. Oh, wait, yes you can. It's 200 health. Do you die here? What? Wait! No! $200 health, 120... What? Oh, no. I thought this thing had way more health. I thought this thing had way more health. I didn't check it, but I wasn't playing the game. Like, just hit this with the Clinico and then send this... Oh, no. Chat, real talk, I'm getting, like, secondhand pains. This hurts in here. And Crazy, look, I'm not trying to beat up on you. I'm not. But this hurts my heart, my literal heart. I can't watch the last turn. I can't watch the last turn. GG. Chat, I don't even know what to say. I don't even know what to say. I don't. It does happen. To be fair, he's right. We didn't know who would win until the final turn. It's true, Luffy. Crazy did not lie to us on that. Was the Jin Sting dying that bad? What, Crazy's? I think it did hurt his chances, but ultimately it looked like the game plan that they were going with worked out anyway. I think the bigger turn there was, instead of blocking in the north, breaking the one in the south and sending Clinico, because Clinico realistically is not going to do anything of value, right? I mean, it could have done it there, so I guess maybe realistically it can, but generally, Clinico wasn't going to do anything relevant. So, you probably were better off getting the 3 panic points. If they try to recap the mid and come after you, you have everything positioned. The only factor that would have changed the way I was thinking about it is I didn't double check the heart health on those last few turns, because it's possible maybe Hematic Ginsting gets on the heart and you can't kill it in time, and that's why the block was there. I don't know. What are you talking about, Taco? Where is that happening? My Singing Monster is sort of a city builder. You get these monsters, they sing, you take their spores, put them in a machine, and they combine elements into possibly a better monster. There's lore talking about the spore part. It's not said outright, because if it said you make monsters breed, it would sound very weird. I mean, Pokemon does that, and it's literally called breeding. Although I don't think they use the term in-game, actually, now that I'm thinking about it, because you just send them to the daycare center, and then an egg mysteriously appears. And it's even funnier, because the Pokemon daycare people are always like, I don't know how this got here, and I'm like, are you not watching them? Look, are you just running a daycare and just letting them pummel each other, or other activities? Apparently. But I like those monster combination games. I don't know if anybody remembers this old Sega Genesis game. I'm just Googling to make sure that I'm like 99% sure, but then second guess myself. Yeah, Beast Wrestler. I used to rent that game when renting games was a thing. On Genesis all the time. Like, whenever I had the opportunity. And I distinctly remember it, because there were a lot of games, you know, like, my gaming career started quite literally within television, which I'm 90% sure predates Atari. But anyway, when you send them to daycare, weird how these Pokemon always ask for a bottle of champagne for some reason. I wonder. So, Beast Wrestler was a game where it's supposed to be way in the future, may or may not be dystopian, who knows, whatever. That's not important. And the idea is that people create these, like, monsters and then fight them in the arena. Like, it's hence Beast Wrestlers. But what you could do when you were playing the campaign, the story mode or the arcade, is when you defeated certain bosses, you were offered the opportunity to merge them together into your monster. So you start off with this generic dragon-esque looking thing, and by the end you end up with these wild, crazy things that are insane. It's actually super cool. And I always loved that game, and when you, because it's an old game, there were no save points. You'd have to put in, like, a 40-character code to get to, because the game would effectively, as a cheat code, to put you in, oh, well, you were here at this such and such a point, so this is where you go. And then there were codes so that you could put in and get certain monsters to to fight them at certain points. And I always wanted to go back and experiment with all of it. But even to this day, the fighting system still somewhat mystifies me, because the hitboxes are all over the place for some of the like one of the monsters is quadrupedal, so its hitboxes are like this big, but your dude is bipedal, so it just can kick the crap out of you, and you can't necessarily like elbow drop it or just punt it like you would normally if you were fighting something that was on the ground, right? So there's just weird, because it was a Genesis game, there were weird things that it's just the way the game worked, which made it frustrating, but it was still a really fun game. Would I play the first 3 Paper Mario 64, Paper Mario The Thousand Year Door, and Super Paper Mario? I remember those games. I never played them. Would I play them? I guess it depends. Like, if you're asking me to stream it, it depends. Let me ask you this, chat. Would people be, like, if I did a sub-goal to play specific games, would that be something people wanted? I always talked about maybe doing a 24-hour stream, but that's definitely going to require a lot of real-life planning. And if I was going to be streaming specific games, I'd have to figure out, like, logistically, how do I do it? You know, if I could get it on the Switch, I have a capture card for my Switch, so I could do that. But I don't know if that would really work. I don't know if those games are on there. But there's a variety of different things that I have in mind if people would want to do that. Phantasy Star 4 on Genesis, I play a few times a year on my and listen to the soundtrack regularly. Yeah, there are games that I still go back to. I would love if Ogre Battle 64 would be on a digital available platform so I could stream that. I loved that game. My stupider does it sound like you would always want to merge the boss into yours. Oh, you're saying for Beast Wrestler Scrungle? It's because it gives you different attacks. So when you turn into the new monster, because it's not necessarily a boss, they are all playable fighters, I think. There might have been one character that was a unplayable boss, but you can't always merge with something, and even the ones that you can, it changes the way. So for example, if you merge with, there's literally just a blob character. So it turns you into this oozing mass thing that, to be honest, from what I recall, kind of sucked until you get the next tier, and then it became bonkers because you became like Dhalsim in Street Fighter, but you were a dragon. So picture a dragon with armored plates that had like Dhalsim's reach. It was bonkers, but you had to get there first, so it made the game, you know, like, it felt like they were very much gaming, like it was a game system, you know what I mean? I never liked Mario Kart, but Mario Kart on the Wii for some reason I liked. I'm not a huge fan of that game. It's fine. Why is this your channel and recommended even though I'm following you? That's a good question, Forgo, because I get the same thing. Are you actually following? Because there have been instances in the past, not necessarily to me, but I've read about it before, where people have said Twitch has stealth unfollowed people. Which, by the way, if you're watching this live stream, hit that follow button. Definitely helps. If you're watching it on YouTube, likes and subscribes. Seriously, they really do help. I'm not joking. I really want to get to 1,000 subs. This is real talk. I need them subscribes and comments. It helps boost all of the stuff. And I appreciate everybody out there that's throwing comments and stuff on the videos. It does seriously help with the visibility and things. But anyway, chat, let's do one more game review, and then we'll jump into the arena. How many do we have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So this is the 9th one. We got to do at least one more tonight, so I can at least meet my 10-game threshold. So this is Macattac is our hero. Very close game that went long and ended up being a game of attrition where Bluelian helped out tons to keep the team solid. So we're going to see Bluelian showing up, one of the full disclosure phobies showing up on one of the full disclosure maps. Magnificent. So we get a unique opener from our hero with the Murder Wing. I've talked about it before. I don't know if the Murder Wing opener can really be punished unless the second player is just like way out leveling you. Like they have a jar and a spud and they have like 10 levels over your guy and they just clobber it, in which case you're probably going to get clobbered anyway, right? But we actually see, so we get the takedown here. the slide of the cat up north, and the aggressive invade, which I like from the bad guy, with the snowball. But we get a Baba Haha follow-up for the hero, and then Hevo for our bad guy. Makes sense. I like the idea of Baba Yaga here, just because it's going to make your opponent's life very complex. This is interesting. So, this trap means that if this Hevo stays, it's essentially 3 hits. But what's more likely is that it's going to be a hit and a walk away. That being said, this area where this hex where the Hevo is doesn't seem like a ridiculous place for the bad guy to end up placing things. Seems reasonable. Oh, really, DT? Well, that's the thing, Scrungle. If you open with this, if you open with Murder Wing, just to go back to the opener, what can hit you? Jar and Spud and Crushmore. But Crushmore takes all of their keys. So in order for them to do, like, how much is this? Whoop. Game. In order for them to do 861 damage with a Crushmore, that's got to be, like, I don't even know, level 25? I'm just guessing. I have no idea. Mine is somewhere south of 10, and it does, like, 484. So, you know, it's going to have to be a lot. So, if we assume Crushmore can't kill you, and Crushmore can't break the block to kill you, then you could have a Gravedigger opener, which places this here, breaking this block, which doesn't do any good. They could break this block and then get a 1, 2, 3 snowball here, which again, if it's doing 800 damage, you're probably dead anyway. An 800 damage snowball with just the fireball, that's bonkers. Spud and Jar, I think, and YouTube, if you're watching this, let me know in the comments. Am I missing something? Chat, let me know if I'm missing something. Spud and Jar are the only things that can hit you going, like if you go first and you put a Murder Wing down here, someone going second, I don't, and again, they would have to be fairly high level, because I've seen some high level Spuds that do, say, 400 plus damage. That means you need a Jar that does the other 400 change. That Jar is probably just beating you almost single-handedly if that happens. Hevo can do it, but then what one key are they utilizing? Like, again, you need a Hevo that can single-handedly one-shot a Murder Wing. Now, don't get me wrong, it may be incorrect to do the Murder Wing opener anyway, because if they respond with Spud, Jar, Hevo, Crushmore, whatever, that means that they are damaging your Murder Wing. But that also means that they are not advancing on the board. So, like, say they went Jar. They went Jar, Spud. They beat this up. Depending on what the health is at, you may still be able to safely take this middle point. 1, 2, 3. Because they're like, the only thing that'll be able to hit it is Jar. The Spud would have to roll out twice. Snowball can't reach it. I don't know. But we'll keep going. We'll keep going. So we're back to, we're back to this. We'll see if Hevo decides to stay and tank, and in fact does not. It actually, wow, it goes after the Jar. Okay. So we get the fireball here. This is going to be difficult for our hero to punish. They could collapse here on the snowball. So, like, move the cat here, move the Murder Wing here. Probably kill this. This is only, yeah, it only has 400 health left, so this should be a very dead snowball. Yep. Then we're going to get a bunch of hits, or, well, a hit, I guess. Did they even do a hit? No. So, is this a missed attack here? This is a missed attack. Oh, no, it's not. They wanted to reposition to the north to shoo away this Murder Wing. I would have probably left it here. The reason being is you can still hit the Murder Wing, but then you can also threaten whatever ends up on this space. Because as it is now, okay, you can hit the Jin Sting, but you have to leave. The Evo 2.0 here is interesting. I imagine that the bank was strictly to try and get that online. That's fine. But this doesn't look like a spectacular position. This one's potentially dangerous. Or maybe it's not, because we do see the Bluelian show up and immediately drops a healing spa under this Hevo, which means it's a 2,000 health Hevo, so it's unlikely for it to die even with all this stuff happening. And then, of course, it's going to get healed up. Another trap going down in a unique spot, an unexpected spot here, but it makes sense to the degree that you're going to try and catch them as they're invading on something, rather than the obvious, because the obvious play is the panic point, so now you're messing with their head, because they don't want to go on the panic point for fear of the trap, but now there's a trap here, and then they're going to be thinking about it when they realize it's not going off this turn. Assuming that your opponent is actually tracking the traps. So the question is, are we going to get another move from this? Because this is a burrow, right? Yeah, it's a burrow move. Because this did not attack the Jin Sting, and it could have. So if it ends in this space, it's not ideal. The panic point advantage is in favor of the bad guy. Hematic Jin Sting, Clopster showing up. We have to get an invade set up here. Yeah, that's exactly it, Forgo. So the Ray Chargels here makes sense. You get the you get multiple Hevos on the board. We get a second spa. How many spas can you make? Oh my god, this only has a one-turn cooldown. I don't know why I would think it's more, but we now have double spas going down. And we're probably going to see more, truthfully. Wow, that's an aggressive Clopster play. And they are dodging all three of these traps, but that's a 5-0 panic point advantage. Because our hero is playing it super safely. But you're going to have to go in here at some point. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 phobies. They have 10 keys banked to 10 keys banked. Get a little UFO drop here. Hevo clears it out. So panic point 1 goes blue. It'll stem the bleeding a bit, but it's still really dicey. 5,600 health. You have a few turns, but not many. Oh, that's a smother mother. Oh, baby. Little softening up of the Clopster makes sense. You can't really do much to hurt this. You'd have to commit really hard. And if you do, the Smother Mother is going to punish the Jin Sting for going in. But again, at the same time, our bad guy can play this pretty safely. It's a lot of panic points in their favor. Little pterodactyl action. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Maxed out on bad guy's side. I'm not sure why this Jin Sting stayed there, because this hit didn't have to happen, I don't think. Panic point advantage, good guys. And now 4 traps on the board. Jab, this Baba Yaga has lasted so long. Wait, why did this healing spa go away? I didn't realize the healing spa dies. It does last for 4 turns, but I didn't look at it that closely. I guess that makes sense. Other than the statues from Gravedigger and Crushmore, every phobie-placed thing will die. Eventually, it'll go away on its own, and the statues can be destroyed. So, at least this is going to get hit. We'll see if they advance anything else onto traps. But now it's panic point advantage bad guys once again. Only 1 key remaining for our hero. There's been at least 2 Baba Yaga missed attacks, I think, chat. Like, there could have been one there, and there was one up here. that could have happened. I don't think they really mattered, but it's bothering me. 2 spawn max can be placed every 2 turns, which is handy for small healing per turn. So if you try to place a 3rd one, like, does the oldest one disappear, or it won't let you? Because there's nothing on here about there being max. Or is it just because of the cooldown? Because it'll go 1, off, 2nd one. Okay, yeah, it's just because of the cooldown. I thought, I had to think about it for a second for, like, the way the timing worked. Yeah, chat's confirming. I thought when I first read that statement, I thought it was indicating that, like, oh, you could spam it and then, they would go away because of that or something. So we get the invade on the Hevo here. It doesn't quite kill it. Ooh, the Clopster from downtown. Problem here is, there is a Smother Mother in range, so that Clopster itself is dead. But are we going to see something different? Alright, so the Clopster's dead just from the yoink and the slap. I'm not sure why this Murder Wing went down here. More healing spas. You get a trap instead, which is probably telegraphed. Because why wouldn't you attack here, right? This is potentially a lot of damage on the Smother Mother, but we see that the bad guy is instead going for heart damage, which kind of makes sense. You just invade with everything else. Unless you could kill the... Like, could you have killed the Smother Mother? This is 1,500, so this would have been another 8. This could have gone here. This could have gone here. No, you would have only done, like, another 8, so you can't get it, I don't think. Oh, is Baba melee? Oh my god, I for the whole time I was thinking Baba was ranged. Baba's melee. Well, then never mind. That explains why the attacks didn't happen. People are going to let me know in the comments. Be like, you fool! It's melee. I don't have it, so that's why I was confused. I could have sworn it was ranged. Anyway, we get an awesome boop here. Oh no, that is sad. Chat, we got to look at this. Anybody want to clip this one? So we get the invade from the Hevo 2.0 into a boop, which ends up ultimately leading to a dead pterodactyl. Ouchtown, population bad guy. Ouchtown, population bad guy. Now our hero here is still taking damage. Still taking heart damage. They're down to 2350. Not super healthy, chat. Not super healthy. Get a little chomp action for that one. Like, the bad guy still has some pretty formidable forces here. Hey, Fortute, what's good? And in fact, we're going to see a dead Hevo? Dead Hevo 2.0. That Murder Wing is still alive. The Murder Wing, I don't understand why it went down here a couple turns ago. Alright, we get a trap going down. Recap of the panic point. Yoink is back up, so that's a dead Ray Chargels. Don't even need the extra attack, so you can reposition. How much healing has this Bluelian done over the course of the game? Seriously, chat. I have to imagine this game ends because bad guy invades and then just loses everything to 50 million traps. Up, here's... Chat, trap from, like, turn 2. Or turn 3. Kablamo! Got him. Blueian really... It's a subtle power. I agree with you, Taco. Like, it seems really good. Well, there's the Baba Yaga attack. The Baba Ha attack. It's insane. It seems really good. How many games have people played where, oh, I just can't kill that thing? Not Bluelian games, just in general. It's like, oh, I can't go in because I don't kill that thing, and that thing, whatever it is, just stays and stays and stays and stays. And that's what Blue Leon's doing, except it's on other stuff that shouldn't have been living, right? So our forces in the north end up going down, and now it's just Smother Mother and Blue Leon versus the world, but we get another trap taking down Hematic Ginsting. Bam! You take that trade, I think. You get the yoink into the kill. I guess it would have landed on the trap and been dead anyway, but all of a sudden, it's Smother Mother, who's very healthy, against a very unhealthy Hevo and a Jar. Macattac, you monster. Seriously, like, this game, a lot of cool plays, a lot of very patient plays, because I can tell you, I would have been panicking. 2100 health on your heart? Seems good. How many healing spas were created, chat? Seriously, there must have been 12 in this game. Here's the dangerous part. 1600 health. Feel like Smother Mother might have carried with the damage. I mean, Smother Mother did a lot of damage. Oh, wait, that Hevo is dead because, yeah, traps everywhere. The yoink on the Jar. And all of a sudden, GG. Honestly, it was a combination. I don't want to say that Blue Leon was the sole factor, or that Smother Mother was the sole factor, because while they were major components, they weren't the only ones. However, the fact that you also had Baba Yaga spraying traps all over the board, that was wild. Like, that was an incredible game. That was really cool. So, shout out to macattac. Well played. Well played. Hey, chat, we're back. Boomer's design and animations are pretty cool. I like Boomer, but I don't know that it's actually very good. I don't know if Boomer's actually very good. It's weird, because it feels like it should be better than it is, and it just never seems to work out. It feels like it never works out. I don't know. Or chat's favorite phobies? I've had a lot of people actually ask me that question in chat before, and I don't know. I love so many different phobies. But I am curious what people are saying. I see Forgo answer. I'm curious what other people's favorite phobies are. Alright, chat. Let's jump into the arena. So, chat, Giga Bash. If you aren't familiar, it's an arena brawler. So, picture, if you remember the game Rampage, or Godzilla Saves the Earth Melee, or any of those games. Those games are basically top-down. It's kind of like an isometric view, but effectively top-down. And in this game, you are a kaiju, or, you know, some other, like a giant robot, or there's a hidden character that I don't want to spoil that's actually hilarious. But it can be played 1v1, 2v2, free-for-all, 4 players at a time. Obviously, different maps. There's like 9 or 10 monsters or characters in the game right now. There's a story mode. There's going to be ranked, but it's not available yet. And I am curious... Oh, no. Get back in there. I am curious, like, I hope the game does well, but my biggest issue right now is the game... Well, A, it released, like, accidentally early. Which is weird. So it was supposed to release yesterday, and it released on Thursday. So I was hoping that, oh, well, people didn't realize that the game released already, so there'll be a higher population yesterday and today. But I think it's just a small title, and it isn't necessarily going to make a big splash. So it's going to be great for couch co-op, but I don't know that it's really going to be a big enough hit to consistently get... It's not going to be a big enough hit to consistently get games, especially 1v1 online, which is interesting that they're going to have 1v1 ranked. I'm saving my first Horrifics to Silver is fine. Honestly, Taco, like, I'm not saying grind, because it feels like a job, and honestly, it feels like a job doing my async games, but I'm really, I want to get, like, I have to double my game count, which is, you know, roughly what would make sense. But the gold pack seems to be very significant. Like, it is a major component of getting stuff. Yeah, we gotta do one more game review. I wanted to try and get Gigabash on stream last night, but I'm kind of glad that I didn't, simply because I sat in queue for so long, and then I just ended up playing the campaign. Which, like I said, I finished today, and truthfully, there are parts of the campaign that are actually really awesome. I'm not much of one for single-player stuff. Most of the time, I prefer competition, competing specifically against other players, not against bots, but... I learned what grinding does to you for saving for Dreadful. Yeah. It's not... The thing is if I played 142 games in a season, I think it's 142. But, you know, you play arbitrarily high number of games in a season. And I did it because I wanted to play. I'm enjoying it. As soon as you tack on that I have to hit that total or I miss out on something, it actually feels worse. Which is somewhat ridiculous when you think about it, right? Like, that is not a normal thing. Or a reasonable thing. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. We're trying this opener. I don't know what I want to do on this map, but I want to try Snowball. Yeah, grinding is not worth it. I've done it for a number of games, and it absolutely... Because there are times where, you know, it's a timed event, you want to get the special skin, or avatar, whatever, and then usually I do it once, and then I never do it again, because I just don't want to participate or interact with the game in that capacity. It ends up sapping, like, all the fun out of it. That's interesting. But it does mean we can't go in with Snowball, because we will die. We will actually tank this if they fireball us, but they can fireball us and then run away, which gets us, like, nothing. That's the correct opening for player 1? Probably. I just don't know if I should do this instead, like... Should I do this? That's the thing I'm unsure about. If I swing this up here, we could defend this. The cat obviously dies, and maybe even, like, dies for no purpose. Like, they immediately recap this. Because they could Fireball, Jar, Walk the Gravedigger on there. Breaking this block up here is interesting. Like, I'm not... I guess a jar could be here, but, like, why break this block? What does that do for you? Because it's this block. Problem I find with grinding is it's just repetitive and boring and makes me lose interest in the game. Yeah, I mean, that's basically it. The way I'd put it, Taco, is it feels like it makes the game a chore. You're not enjoying the game anymore. You're not having fun playing the game. You're doing an unpaid job. Well, you're getting paid in, you know, random nonsense in game. Which, if you get it... If the game boils down to, like, getting one of these things, whatever we're talking about, that you get the thing incidentally, like, oh, well, if you just play a reasonable amount... Because they have to make it, and the whole point of the event, these sort of things, is to entice people to play, right? But if you do that, and you force somebody to play 50% more than they normally would, now they're actively having to readjust, like, real life schedules in order to accommodate it, and it just, the additional stress of maybe hitting, like, putting in all the effort and then whiffing feels awful. So the question is, should I put the Quagmire here? I'm going to say no, but I don't know if that's actually the case. I want to get Alligator online, so we're going to go with this. We're putting it here because then we can meatball their snowball if they decide to get cute and go to the north. They could swing snowball to the south, but I doubt they're going to do that. They could try and reposition the jar to the stem, but I don't think that's really what they want to do either. Well, that thing's dead unless you body block. They may be thinking, this is a 571 health jar, it's a level 13 jar, holy crap, that I can't kill it, but I'm going to take it on the stem. And I think we trade Snowball for the jar here. That's a Scritch. That is, in fact, a Scritch. Alright, so I'm going to kill their jar. We're going to lose the Snowball in the process, but I think it's worth. We could lose our Murder Wing if we put it there. If we go here, we can't get to this. 1, 2, 3, 4. They can't get to this turn, so I think this is fine. Did exactly what I would have done every turn except for the Murder Wing position. Would you have gone Murder Wing and just put it in a different spot, DT? So they could break a block here and still do something mean, hypothetically. I guess this positioning is okay. Not super enthusiastic about it, but I feel like I forget I have Scritch. I actually don't, Scrungle. I just legitimately don't have a lot of scenarios where I want Scritch. Morty, I'll admit, I legit forget that I have Morty. Or I used to. I'm better about it now. I just rarely have a time where I'm like, yep, I want Scritch here. If they put another range thing here, well, they don't have anything else that's 3 range anymore. Well, they could have Chuck. They could have a Chuck. I'd send Wing across in front of the heart to keep their jar off the stem pad. I didn't expect them to do this, but I had the Snowball in order to try and fight the jar. Their jar, I think, was exactly 571. So it worked out, because if they had body blocked, either just put something on the stem or stand on lava for all it matters, you know. Phobies with buff abilities are really good. Yes and no. Like, you need to get... I mean, it's like anything else. It's going to sound like a really silly statement, but you got to get the value out of them, right? Yeah, you can't have that there. I will kill it. You can have it there, and I can't kill it, which is annoying, but... So Scritch is still alive. How much damage does this do? So you're going to do 4, we'll say 500, plus another 5 is 1,000, plus another 6, 1,600, plus 8, or 9. It's 27. This won't die. I don't think there's any way they can kill the gator. This Murder Wing could get in position to help snipe something, or it could take this point. Well, it can't really ever take this point because of the Scritch. Until the Scritch dies, it doesn't matter. So I might as well have it tighter. Like, having it here probably is more meaningful. They could kill it, actually. So they swing this down here. No, they can't, because it'll go 1, 2, 3. If it's here, they can't hit it with anything but Snowball. Alright, I don't think the Gator can die. And I think the Gator now body blocks for the Quagmire, so Quagmire can't die. Morty, yep. Yeah, Morty is a phobia that I legit forgot that I unlocked for a long time. I did not forget about Scritch. I do consider it just about every game. I don't say it out loud, but I do consider it, and it just constantly feels like this is not the scenario to do it. I do need to level it up, though, because this is a phobie that, while it has an ability, you care about what the ability's stats are. You actually get less damage out of doing this if you're trying to kill the gator, which I doubt they are. They probably realize they can't do it. Yep, so they're just pushing damage. I don't think... Yeah, we can't kill the Scritch now. I was going to say, I don't think we can kill the Scritch, but we might have been able to go after it. So I want to get the spider where the murder wing is. We can possibly kill the snowball, but then we're risking really bad... Like, we're diving pretty hard, and I don't really want to do that if we can help it. Now that the buff is down and fireball is down, the damage output is way, way lower. The threat of damage is way, way lower. They banked to 8. What does that mean? Beauty? Beauty is the likely thing, right? Our jar is just going to get sniped by either Morty or Snowball. I think it's just going to require too much effort to keep it alive. I can't go Charon. Mine's like level 3. I want to try and go for a bigger drop, but I'm not sure what we want. Like, a Gin Sting is safe here, but that means only a 6 next turn, so it probably has to be Crushmore, which is okay. I would like to go for a 7 or higher. But if we went with, like, a 2 and just... Like, how... This does 900 damage, though. 3. 2, 3. So they could kill the Murder Wing with the Morty. But I think we take that trade? I'm honestly not sure. And they can't kill the cassowary. Like, we'll kill the Morty in return. They could kill the cassowary. High 5 plus Scritch. Please. That would be... I think... Have we seen a high 5 in Scritch game? We've seen high 5 in... Or, Scritch and Chuck. I think we have. I'm confident we've seen Gonzo and Chuck. Alright, this thing can break or block again next turn. Ow. Sometimes from streaming, sometimes my elbow is just, like, I guess I'm getting carpal tunnel. I don't know. Hey, speaking of high 5. Yeah, you can't put it there. I'm gonna yoink it. Okay, they don't care. Maybe I can't kill it. It's 3,100 health. That's a lot. We're gonna try, but I highly doubt we kill it. Game. There we go. Gotta do this as quick as possible, so that we don't end up running out of time like always. Game, please. We're gonna be on a tight schedule here. We might need the gator. God damn it, we have to commit everything. We're gonna lose the gator in this exchange, is the problem. That might be worth it, but it does suck. Like, the Gator has to... There's no way it doesn't die here. Gator is immortal? No. This Gator is so dead. Because they're gonna... Like, Scritch is online. They can pop something right out of spawn. So Scritch is online, and they can hit it twice with this. This is already 1,200... oh, no, Scritch is not online. No, it's not. I thought they had another turn. So this Gator might live. The Gator lives! No, it doesn't. There's no shot this guy lives. No shot. It required a lot of resources, but... Yeah, you don't have... You could reposition or something, I guess. Oh, you're undoing it? Really? They have to be killing this thing. There's no way they let this live. You don't even have to fireball. You could attack it twice. It would have lost Morty. Yeah, I mean, yes. But they're going to lose Morty regardless, unless they straight up run it away. I have like 8 different ways I could kill it. Maybe not 8, but I have a number. There are a few. Alright, so there's the snowball run away. No, you're fireballing. Alright, fair. Trying to undo so much, he undoes my turn. I mean... Game. That didn't die? Oh my god, it has 15 health. That is super obnoxious. So we're gonna move the spider back rather than screw around with this. It would probably die, and I think it's... Even though the heal is relevant, I think it's more important to maintain it at this stage. They have 6 keys left. I kind of want to go 4-2 instead of a 6. I think having the extra hits is more relevant. And I think we do this so that it can swing up this way. I mean, I guess it would end up in this spot regardless. It's not going to... Like, this is going to vacate if something happens. So this is now live. Fireball's down. But they're not going to get a double hit with anything from the Scritch. The Gator lives, they said, as they saw the Gator perish right before their eyes. Yeah, Fiona is unhappy, chat. So we can probably kill this and this. Well, not probably. We can kill this and this. And then it's just a matter of what do they follow this up with. That sounds like me, Scrungle. Alright, they went Rambolina. They went Rambo. He's not, like, out of position, but... I have no idea why they did this. Like, almost literally none. Is Quagmire the monster that's on the arena screen, chat? It might be Quagmire. I don't know what their boop strategy here is. 1, 2, 3, boop here. Shouldn't matter. 1, 2, 3. They can boop this way. Like, am I being overly aggressive here, chat? This should have been up here already. I guess it could have been here to possibly body block. I guess. I don't know. This clearly dies. But I imagine they're going to try and annihilate the Quagmire? Because the Quagmire is a 23. So that's 16, 21. Yeah, they can get the Quagmire. But they have to send in Rambolina. Which means that all of this other stuff lives. Oh, geez, PorkPork, that's a lot. Ah, good luck. Good luck. I'm not too worried about this Gravedigger, who has been hanging out since, like, turn 2. Turn 1, actually, right? So this is 8, 14, 19. Not enough to kill this. Not enough. Wait, hold on. I just realized. I just realized that I'm sitting on their heart, and they have, like, no health left. GG. We can actually win on this on this game sometimes, chat, and on this map. I didn't get that statement out at all. Holy crap, that was terrible. That was terrible. Update, I won against Stabby and Pterodactyl. Nice, Scrungle. Congrats. Alright, chat, we're stringing some wins together. We're stringing some wins together. So what is the appropriate response to that, though? Like, what my opener was? Because last night, I think it was last night, I played a game on that map going second, and my opponent basically opened like that. I remember that movie, Taco, but I don't know if I actually saw it, as weird as that sounds. That does sound pretty crazy, PorkPork. I wish you luck, because no matter what, that's always stressful. That's always stressful. But yeah, what is the response to that? The old chomp action for that one? And again, I'm not going into, like, oh, look at me, I did so good. I actually like that map. I'm not a huge fan, but string bean those wins. So I'll skip ahead just so we get the board state. Well, we'll go one more. So between the cat, or arbitrary one drop, and snowball, we've capped 3 points on this board. Realistically, our opponent couldn't have taken any points. I guess they could invade with this and then just end up losing their stuff. They could have prompted a one drop earlier so that they don't bank to 7. But at most points here... Oh, and I wanted to check the jar. So they did have exactly 571. So if we sent the Murder Wing here, we could have threatened the jar that was trying to work its way around to the stem. This, I think, like, honestly, this play was probably the game when I sniped their jar, because that jar would have been super oppressive. Almost 300 damage. It would have been on the stem. That was probably their ticket back in the game. And I could have locked it off with this. I don't remember why I put the Murder Wing over here, but I don't know what the appropriate response is. I still am not a huge fan of Scritch. Honestly, it just felt like they went with a bunch of weird phobies. I like maps that incentivize different phobies like Crushmore, Gator, and the Goo Guy. I think Quagmire is good on a lot more maps than people give it credit for, but yes, I agree, Views, that I like that the maps incentivize other things. I just don't like this particular map that much. And there's an argument where I'm incentivizing, or the game is incentivizing a specific phobie or phobies, and then it's going overboard and like, okay, if your opponent has these and you don't have them, you lose. This probably isn't there, but having Quagmire and like a good Quagmire and a good Gator feels way better. I don't know. I know DT was saying that their opener was the same as what I did. So I'd have to defer to DT if you've seen what the response is going second. Is this a new map like never seen before? No, this one has been in the rotation previously, and actually recently. Like I want to say only 2 or 3 weeks ago. Maybe a month ago. It's been in the rotation at least twice, I think. So it's been around. I'm hoping it goes overboard so I win more. Fair. But yeah, just as a general thing, this seems like a really strong opener on this map. I don't know that it's oppressive. Like, is it really that difficult to fight this? I don't know. I don't know what because a Gator, if we go through, because I get a Gator online now. Now, granted, we end up losing the Snowball, but we traded it for Jar. Okay, that is what it is. But this is a very tanky front line with a potential explosive damage output. So I think you have to respond with, like, you just go in and, like, you got to get the Murder Wing and then hopefully not lose too much. Or maybe if I'm going to hold the center, you have to answer with Droney or send your Snowball over here, which I think was the original reason that I had Murder Wing, is so that if they ran Snowball to the north, which they probably could have done at any point, possibly I could have cut it off with Quagmire and then a Murder Wing. I don't know. I'd be taking them way out of position and potentially exposing them. Yes, Quagmire's level 7 and has 2,500 health plus Boggle Bath, but it likely would have had to stand on one of these in order to get into... Well, maybe not. You'd probably just swing to here and pin it. I don't know. I think our opponent was doing some oddball stuff. I'm not sure what the response to this is, because like I said, somebody basically did this opener to me last night, and I kind of struggled against it as well, so I'm not sure. I don't know. Alright, chat, let's get another game review in. Like I said, I want to make sure that we're staying on track. Thiny is always good for some really bizarre game states. We tend to get Luffy games where it's beating the heart. We've had DT where you've had signature phobies and some very strong plays. We've had a number of other high-ranked players who've had some really cool plays or just solid mechanics. The discipline play that we're talking about, Thiny has proven to have some really off-the-wall bonkers games that, like, how did that board state actually happen? So we are once again back on Phobos. This must be an old game at this stage. Phobos is here, and the notes on this game are some nice heartbreaker moments. We have a heartbreaker, chat. We have a heartbreaker. So we get a variation, we'll say, on the standard opener with swinging the cat over here. I guess it's trying to go to this top point, but that seems a little weird. Murder Wing is going down here, presumably to maybe threaten this, I guess? I don't know. But you still end up with a 3-0 panic point advantage. Gravedigger opens this up. We'll see if there's a snowball. We do, in fact, get the meatball going down. I'm guessing our bad guy here does not have Snowball or would have made an appearance. This doesn't seem like a ridiculous line if you don't have access to Snowball. Stemming the bleeding a little bit, but we do get a Grimes. Thiny, you bully. Level 9 Grimes. And like I said, I'm guessing bad guy here does not, in fact, have a Snowball themselves, indicating a potentially lower stress level. So we get the kill on the Snowball. I can appreciate that. This is still going to die, which is going to grow the Grimes. Or is it? No, because the Grimes can't get across this gap directly. So even if you swing something out, because Thiny banked to 11, even if you swing something out to damage this, the Grimes can't... Somebody corrected me, because I said that in the map breakdown for Moai. You can't burrow through the abyss. You still have to go around it. So bad guy did a little investment of their own. Little banking, little 401k action. And we got a Hevo for our efforts here. Hevo 3.0. What does Thiny answer with 11 keys? We get a tractor. It's not a tractor. It's an Oculus. And then we get a primate. So 8 keys expended for, we'll say, less impressive phobies, but they're still good. This Grimes here is trapping the Murder Wing, because the Murder Wing, even if it tries to run twice, is not actually going to get away. So now it's just desperately running for its life, so it doesn't, but it's going to meet its end with the Inoculus, unless Thiny decides to leave it alive. Thiny does have 8 keys, and we get a sheep follow-up, I guess to answer the Grimes, but I don't know about that. Honestly, I've seen a lot more Grimes on small maps, so seeing it on a big map is different, and I wonder how well it's going to work. Well, there's the Heartbreaker, and I imagine we're going to see a big ol' retreat from the bad guy. Because although this has a warm-up, and it's going to have another turn of warm-up, still very dangerous. Ooh, we get an invade from the Hevo. This is bold because this punches pretty hard, 600 damage. This is going to get 2 hits. This is going to get 2 hits. And there's stuff that could come out of Vault. This has got to be a dead Hevo 3.0, right? That's 8, 14, 24. Something else looks at it funny. I don't know about that one. Don't know about that one. I get it. Put damage on the Inoculus, damage the Heartbreaker. Oh, that's enough damage to kill it anyway. Just stray damage takes it down. We can even get a heal on the Heartbreaker, which was probably unnecessary. I didn't see how much damage it was down to. Maybe it's enough to die the cat, but... And we get a little scythe action from the Grimes. This game feels like it's over already, chat. I'm not gonna lie. Wasted Hevo? Yeah, It also feels like this Clinico was wasted, but I don't remember if Thiny has Muffin. I imagine that our bad guy here just, like, accidentally... Or, I don't know. Maybe they were just scared of the Heartbreaker pull and didn't consider... It was like, look at this. Okay, time out. Let me finish the thought. I assume the Hevo invade was because they weren't paying attention to the damage on the Heartbreaker and just didn't think, okay, well, they probably can't kill it. I have a ton of health. It's Hevo 3.0. It can't possibly die in one turn. Or maybe they missed the cooldown on this or something. I don't know. But this feels like tilt. This feels like tilt. Heartbreak. You've killed the Hevo. You killed its little brother. That is savage. That was savage. It's true. You're not wrong. Was this async or arena? I'm not sure. We'll check after the game, GD. But yeah, like I said, this game feels very much over. That could be true. I mean, I've mentioned on many occasions, when I play async, I just don't care. I just kind of do things, and I still ballpark stuff. Every once in a while, I'll actually sit there and count it up, but I generally don't. I take arena way more seriously, and I know other people feel the opposite. They take async way more seriously, which is part of what frustrates me, that I have a higher async rating this season than I do my arena currently, but that's just because I'm playing more async games. Just because I have them queued up trying to fill out my opportunity to get the gold pack. If we go back to the game, it shows async arena. Exactly, Scrungle. That's what I was saying. We'll check it after the game. But at this point, after losing the Hevo, I have to imagine that bad guy just does not care at all. Like, doesn't matter. Because, like, why freeze the Murder Wing? I mean, why go Rocket Man to begin with? Erratic, Moly Bully. These are just kind of like... I'm just throwing things out here, I think. Oh, the Frozen Murder Wing does look kind of cool. Five to 1 panic point advantage. I don't know, Chad. I don't really have much else to say about this. There really isn't much to say. Frozen Bat seems tasty enough, I guess. Maybe. Maybe. Not quite the frozen TV dinner that you usually hear about. The only question here is whether Thinny's going to try and kill all the phobies, or Thinny's going to try and go after the heart. It looks like the phobies are the choice. Yet, 2 out of the 3 down, and soon to be an erratic. I mean, are they just waiting for the cooldown? They might have been waiting just to Heartbreaker one more thing for the sake of it. Does anybody have Heartbreaker? Is there a quest for Heartbreaker to specifically throw things into the abyss? You know, like your last quest slot? It's over, feels bad for the other guy? Yeah, salesman. It was over as soon as that Hevo got lost, honestly. So that was a async game. That was an async game. GG. Got him. I actually have to write this one out, chat. Because I didn't have this on my list. Didn't originally have that on the list, but I'm trying to get ahead. We'll probably do one more game review. Got Tacobulldog next. We didn't do a taco game this week, right? Nope. So chat, what do you think? Should we keep doing phobies, or should I do a little variety tonight? I do a little variety tonight after this. One game I submitted is pretty funny. As long as you got a pin so it doesn't fall off your profile. I don't know where you are in the list. My game plan this week is to redo the submission list so that I have it more organized. Alright, Ghost. Oh no, Taco, you didn't favorite it. Is it gone? It is literally the last game in your profile. You lucked out. You lucked out. You used the Google thing? Alright, cool. Zoning in with Tacobulldog, our hero in the blue trunks on Eternal Monday versus the bad guy, Giggle Stick. We get a unique... Giggle Stick is a pretty funny name. Yeah, that's a cute name. Not quite as funny as just a regular name. I know if Onda's in chat, they're going to lose their mind at Tim again, but... we get a triple one-drop opener against Stabby. One of these one-drops is going to eat it. It's just going to matter which one. Because I imagine we're going to get a jar follow-up. Bad guy did bank to 4, so they might do something instead like a Gin Sting? But I imagine they go jar plus one-drop, right? Or Murder Wing, that works. You wouldn't expect the Dave, it's true. Wait, did you really need to meatball this? That can't possibly be true. 300... Oh my god, 305 health. That's why they didn't jar. It would live by 3 health, chat. Nobody tell me levels don't matter. Levels matter. But bad guy chose to continue to bank, so still more panic point advantage to our hero. Thank God I upgraded my cowbell. I could see it. I hate this map. It always ends up being a patience game with Jar and Stimpad. Honestly, I don't know if it definitely is a patience game, but I've seen games on this map where it doesn't really devolve into Jar battles, but it does still stalemate really hard. It does still stalemate really hard. Jar plays in, but it isn't necessarily Jar on the stim. It's just because Jar can reach so far, obviously. So bad guy is finally able to... This is questionable. Oh, okay. Why, though? Like, this murder wing is always going to be able to get in there. I feel like that spider should have hit the murder wing. Now it's just wasted. I get it. I could see it. I got a 41 turn game here, and I was losing my mind. My game, I queued into Hakune offline twice on this map. One with them going first, and one with me going first in async, and honestly, I'm just doing things now. I don't care. I'm so tired of playing it. The game has been going on forever where we're trading one drops, and I'm like, I don't care. The phobia limit is brutal on this map. Yeah, I think that decides a lot of games. Having Clinico when there's a heal there, too, is real rough. I'd agree. So Fire Ant comes in. Jar is healing. Which I guess is fine. I mean, you don't want the damage, but I don't know if it matters that much. So this Fire Ant is laying a trap somewhere, and all of a sudden it's Panic Point Advantage orange. I don't know what this Gravedigger is doing. It does have a break available, so... Alright, we're going to soften up the Fire Ant, of course. Where is the big trap? There's clearly a trap that went down, but where did it go? What is Stabby doing? Stabby's going back to heal, which, like... So here's the thing. I didn't mention the Stabby going back, because I'm like, I think everybody will see that it's going to the healing spot, but at the same time, I probably should have called it out, because it's like, I don't get it. I don't understand. The Stabby is now, like... I don't know, in the Andromeda Galaxy. Like, why is it there? Although, this is unfortunate. I think this was a given, that there was a trap in one of these places, given Bowmangles is there. Now the Bowmangles, like, is just gonna die, right? Clinico healed it next... Well, Clinico healed it a couple turns ago, didn't it? Clinico... No, it just healed it now. Yeah, I don't know. Honestly, chat, I wrote off the move with the Stabby because I'm like, that move makes no sense. So I'm just going to ignore it. I didn't even pay attention that it did that other stuff. That's weird. Ignoring the fire. Ignoring the fire for the Stabby kill. You got to do what you got to do. You gotta do what you gotta do. Panic Point Advantage does go back to our good guy. Now, here's the problem with Pterodactyl. It's now down under 1,000 health. It is probably not going to make it. Well, maybe not probably, but it's way less likely to make it. We get a Klepto follow-up. Honestly, our bad guy's not in a horrendous position. If the Clinico were just about anything else, namely if they muffined instead of Clinicoed, maybe they'd be okay? I don't know. Wow, we get a counter Clinico. Really? Alright. Because my argument was going to be, if either player, instead of these Clinicos, had more map presence, just a couple extra one-drops to be able to recap points, the other player would likely be in a bad spot, or at least a very weird one. No, you can't hit it. For a second, I was like, wait a minute, can't you just kill this jar? But I guess not. So at this point, our bad guy, and this is what ends up happening. I mean, Chad was talking about the jar matchup, but this sort of stalemate, how exactly does the bad guy invade here, right? The jar HP looks painful to knock down. Well, it's not going away. I mean... both players have been preserving their jars very well. As I say that, they're going to die. So jar dies. But like I said, this is a rough spot for the bad guy to invade into, I think. Wait, did you just get this killed? Oh, no. Not like this. Wait, is that enough damage? That might not be enough damage. Yeah, the jar just dies, just eats it. So they invade here. These are both fairly tanky. 1900 health, 2k health. This is going to get dicey. Both hearts, 2500, 2700. Actually, life total advantage to bad guy. This is taking your pterodactyl's life in your hands. That didn't kill this? Oh no. That's 100% a dead pterodactyl. What? Am I, like... This would have been 8, 944, 1244, or plus whatever? 1289? Yeah, that hurts. That hurts. That's 2 games tonight where it's had the game, like, on this... Because if this pterodactyl's dead, the game is over, right? You kill it, don't lose the fire ant, because the fire ant gets healed, and then it's Clinico and Jar versus the world. Oh, that hurts. That hurts. And again, I'm not trying to beat up on the bad guy here. Look, we've all made these sort of mistakes. It happens. But that is painful. I always wonder about these plays, because I notice it a lot as soon as I submit the move. I'm like, oh my god, why did I do that? It's rare that I just get blindsided by a bad play. It's often like, I'm doing this and I know it's bad because this is going to happen, but we have to hope or whatever. I have to wonder if they knew. Can't even really race here. I guess that's fine. But honestly, the pterodactyl can probably just go face, and there's nothing you can do. You could also just chase everything down. There's no way to actually kill the pterodactyl. It has what, like 1800 health, 1700? I mean, we're watching the end here, chat, but yeah, that was a big throw. That's what the dramatic pause was for when I was just kind of staring at the screen, because it was like, I don't know. And I've missed plenty of obvious plays, chat. It happens all the time. This one just hurts inside. That's why I don't have any words for this. There's really nothing else to say about this. This one's just painful. And suddenly, just like that, the heart goes down. Check the pterodactyl HP. 80 HP. GG. The game, most games are about making less mistakes than your opponent. It isn't necessarily making strong plays or, like, doing anything spectacular. Sometimes it's just simply making less mistakes than your opponent, and in this case, like, literally one mistake changed the game. Were there other lines, like other things that could have happened that could have made it come out differently? Possibly, but that was the obvious one. SpongeBob was level 77. Good for them. But yeah, Chad, Gigglestick said, what if I made more mistakes than my opponent? Hold my beer. Hold my beer while I make more mistakes. And that's where, I mean, to tie it back to something that's not a joke, that's where the levels can matter. Having a level advantage, the most succinct way to put it is if you have a level advantage over your opponent, and we're talking one that's relevant. If you're one stress level higher than, like, okay, maybe it's an irrelevant phobia that doesn't even come out that game sort of thing. But if you have these games where, you know, somebody's level 70, 80, whatever, and then you're in the 30s, that's a significant stress level advantage, right? You can imagine that every phobia they're playing is going to outlevel yours and by a significant amount. You can still beat it. But the thing is that you need to accept the fact that the higher level you are, the more mistakes you're allowed to make. And that's the way it works. It's the truth. I got to Doomsday as a level 18 today. Pretty happy about it. Grads for Tuesday. Nice. I just got Bugs Bunny in Multiverse. He's so fun. I want to unlock Bugs. I keep thinking about sinking money into Multiverse just to try the other characters. I'm actually thinking about getting one of the Founders Packs because it gives you... Basically, you unlock all but a handful. It doesn't give you every character that's in the game right now, but basically every character. And it'll be way more than the ones that I want to play. Like, I have just no interest in some of the characters. And then it also gives you some in-game currency, like the paid currency, obviously. And I could just sit on those until more characters come out. Like other ones that I'm interested in, specifically like more Looney Tunes, maybe some actually interesting DC characters outside of Harley. Like, how awesome would it be if Killer Croc showed up? Killer Croc will not show up, but it would be really cool. I imagine if they're going to do more DC characters, it'd probably be like the Teen Titans would be the next ones. I doubt you're going to see like Suicide Squad members or something like that. King Shark would be hilarious. But yeah, more Looney Tunes. I don't know what other properties they have offhand. Like, does WB own Pinky and the Brain? Really want Teen Titans and Gumball? I have no idea what Gumball is. My best friend and I were doing some 2v2, and Taz Superman is so busted we're not even good at the game. There are things that might be oppressive. Like, if you're saying you're not good, that might imply you're at low rank, and therefore it might be you're just beating up on people that have no idea what they're doing. They're a Cartoon Network? Okay, I didn't know who owned that anymore. Because I thought it was Warner Brothers back in the day, wasn't it? Like with Animaniacs? Am I misremembering? Let me know in the comments, YouTube. I'm sure chat's going to correct me momentarily, but somebody's going to Google it real quick. I don't know what other characters I'd want. But we're going to stick with phobies. Maybe we'll do variety afterwards. Like, I'll do a longer stream, I don't know. But somebody did say that they'd rather see more phobies than variety, so it's the main day for phobies. We'll do that. So we'll jump into a game. We'll play a game. Maybe we'll do a couple more replays after this. Gumball's a really good Cartoon Network show. Gotcha. Oh, they have Cartoon Network. I just looked at your comment real quick, so that... I see what you're saying, Taco. I don't remember... Like, I don't know if I've ever watched Cartoon Network, truthfully. I'm sure I have, but I don't think it's something that was available in whatever my TV packages were throughout time. So I would have only seen it, like, if I was at someone's place and they're like, hey, watch this. Or, you know, it's just on somewhere. So I can't call to mind something that's specifically Cartoon Network. Well, grats, Scrungle. Nice. Gumball is the blue cat character in the amazing world of Gumball. That means literally nothing to me, Honda. I'm going to have to Google this while we're in queue. Because I have no idea what that is. Maybe I'll recognize it from a picture. Okay, I've seen this thing before, like probably a commercial somewhere. I've never heard the name of the show. Definitely never seen it. They also have Ben 10. I can definitely see that. They could put in Ed, Ed, and Eddie. If anybody remembers that show, I mean, there's a lot of people that would, but I don't know if Ed, Edd and Eddy was, like, super popular enough to warrant a character. I know they paused for however long, the Morty release, which that's another show I've never watched, Rick and Morty, but I know that is just, like, general media consciousness, that's very popular. Now streaming, grown man Google's Gumball because his chat knows about every single cartoon, I guess. True. Our opponent banked to 6. Jesus Christ, chat. What is happening? And why is it happening? So wait, a jar and a snowball can hit this. Probably... Alright, we're taking a chance here. I have no idea what our opponent's stress levels are. So this could be very, very bad. This could be very bad for a variety of reasons. Namely, where they banked and we didn't. Secondly, if they are high level, they could kill our snowball and then we just kind of lose on the spot, right? Murder Wing Snowball, that could do it too. I took this to be aggressive, but, like, I don't know what they're doing. I was so stunned by their opener that, like, I didn't know how to react. That's why I did it. I'm like, whatever, I'm doing this. It's very much a streaming thing. Offline, I would have gone through and, like, thought about, okay, well, what can hit it? But you got me. Maybe Snowball Spud? Well, not so far. Snowball Spud probably does get us, though. Depending on the Spud level. Really? I don't understand why they did this. Like, at all. This doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me. So we're doing it this way because if I put the snowball here, they can come in and leap and then vomit on us. So if we're here, they can leap. There's land here and then that. So I guess this is fine. We're banking a 4 to get to Ginsting. Opponent doesn't realize? Yeah, exactly. They must just straight up not have those things, because I could have been punished really, really hard. What are they doing? I don't know. I don't know. They're absolutely making me think, though. Maybe not as much as I should. Maybe he doesn't have Snowball unlocked. Yeah, I think that's probably the case, Honda. It's probably the case. Because otherwise, you Snowball Murder Wing, right? If you have Snowball, once you unlock Snowball, for anybody out there watching this on YouTube or in chat that doesn't have Snowball, once you unlock Snowball, the game absolutely changes. It is a wildly different game than what it is pre-Snowball. And as a result, you are always looking for Snowball plays. Like, constantly. So they can still kill our Snowball. I don't know if this is worth it. They banked a 6 again. I think I actually just want to play defensively, right? They bank. Why are they banking? What is happening? Chat, I don't know why this is happening, and I'm getting exceptionally concerned. The cat just dies for free if we leave it there. At least this way, it'll be able to recap a point. You know, like they send in Bachelor, we'll hit it and then whack it with cat. Yeah, Onda is definitely a boom, kaboom, and kerbloom enjoyer. That's a Klepto. Level 7 Klepto. I think that's the same level mine is. Yep. I'm out of water, chat. We're basically out of war. Alright, so we're gonna have to do some weird stuff, but I think we can kill the... We might be able to kill this Klepto. Nope, that is not what we meant to do. Yeah, we can absolutely get it. Now, we lose stuff in return, but obviously we take that, right? We take those. I want to bank a little bit, but still get something in position. So we have the Gin Sting ready to go. Even if they kill both of these, which is seeming unlikely right now, we still have Gin Sting on stim with the cat available to try and clean up. And then this can follow up and eliminate some stuff. I wonder if they actually had to do that. I don't know if they did. Alright, so they do get both. But we'll clearly kill both of these. But the Bachelor is going to live, which is a little obnoxious. The Bachelor is going to live and still keep pressuring this, which is unfortunate. But they're going to lose both of these, so I'm not too worried. So we traded Cassowary and Snowball for Murderwing, Cassowary, and Klepto. I think we can take that. Kaboom, the Stabby Eraser. So actually, our Gin Sting is going to die. Yeah, because you can't... You're going to have to sink all 4 attacks in, I think. We'll bank the 1 key. I don't know that we have to place something on the board this turn. Like an actual 4-drop, or go like 2 2s, or a 1-drop. Could. Yeah, so they had to sink all 4 attacks, and I was worried about this maybe taking damage, but clearly not. So, if I kill this, where does this get pulled to? Is it going to go onto the lava? What do we think, Chad? Is it going to end up here? Pulls enemy 1 tile. 1 tile in, but what does in mean? On the stim or on the lava? I don't know, it's a mystery. That would be logical for Tute, but, I mean... I don't know. So it's 520, 1020, 1110. This should live. This should live. This would die, hypothetically, to this 6, 7, 8. Yeah, this would die. We'll keep that alive. I feel as though I've been way too aggressive this game, but I don't know. I guess we'll never know. Yeah, I should have tried it just to confirm for Tute. I got too excited about doing the actual play. I run out of time so much that I forget, you know, like, or not forget, but I I've been trying to be better about not just derping around, but I end up losing games because I run out of time anyway. I'm trying to figure out what this is on my desk. It's just wrap paper. So this lives barely, like I was saying. If they had Snowball, it's dead, but they had to... If they had Snowball, it would have been out here already. Oh my god, they have Snowball? What the... What?! Chat, I'm confused. I jinxed myself, apparently. Chat, I am confused. What happened? Why did this happen? Here's the real question. Can we get him with a surprise Jackalope King hit? We all got bamboozled. No! No is right. Timeout. Could that... Their Snowball was very low level. It was only going to do, like, literally 400 damage. I think they surrendered. Or they just passed turn. Would the Snowball and Murder Wing have killed savage? I don't know if that qualifies as that was savage, but... That was weird. Hold on. I absolutely was thinking they didn't have Snowball. Alright, so hold on. My Snowball is 910 health. Their Murder Wing does 544, so we need... Everybody remember the numbers. Because we don't have everything on the table at the same time. $544 and 420. 420. See, it's a funny number. It's a funny number, chat. $544, and they only had to hit, so it would have been 964. They 100% would have killed the Snowball. It's been a weird night, chat. It's been a weird night. It's a funny number. Click on the phobia image to see the Snowball level. I'm pretty sure that's like a level 1 Snowball, or pretty close to it, Taco. It's pretty low. It can't be level 1, because I'm pretty sure it doesn't break 400 before that. That is a level 1 Snowball? Alright. I mean, our opponent was... I think they were literally level 40, so yeah, they would have just gotten the Snowball. Chat, you talking about trash pandas? Raccoons are funny animals. Oh my god, there's a boss on the board. I haven't seen a boss in a long time. For a while, it felt like everybody had boss. And I was the only person missing the boss. This is a very weird setup here. This is another reason I don't like Scoposium, or however you... I still don't know how to actually pronounce the name of this map, but... It's another reason that I'm not a huge fan of it, because it feels like this sort of... How do I put it? I guess it feels like a larger Eternal Monday. That's pretty cool. I haven't really followed Bad Batch much. I watched the first few episodes. I like Star Wars, but I can't really get into the non-Space Wizard part of Star Wars. If it's not Jedi or Sith related, I just kind of don't care. So, for example, there's a guy I follow on Twitter for Transformers was invited to play a Star Wars RPG. And in my head... I think about the Star Wars MMO when I think Star Wars RPG, not KOTOR. I never actually played KOTOR. But the point is that you could be a not Jedi. You could just be a smuggler or a random bounty hunter or something like that. Now, if you're going to be one of the aliens, all right, that's cool. Or you're going to be like IG-88 and be a, some kind of droid. All right, that's cool. But at the end of the day, if you're just going to be a regular dude in sci-fi, like, I don't find that as interesting. It's like, why would I want to do that if I could instead be a Jedi? Like, I don't know. I like the Star Wars shows much more than the movies. I know a lot of people do like that, DT, and are of that same opinion, and I don't fault them. I mean, we've had the Star Wars movie discussion before. We can go into it again if people really want to hear it, but I doubt it. We're just kind of letting this game play out while we're doing random stuff before we get into more game reviews. But I don't know. I just don't care about Obi-Wan, the character. Despite him being a Jedi, he's arguably one of those boring characters in the entire universe to me. So, like, the Obi-Wan show, I haven't watched it. I kind of want to, but I know I never will, because there's always going to be other stuff. Like, I want to watch Prey, the new Predator movie that just came out. I'm really excited for that. I'm not excited at all to watch Obi-Wan. I don't really... I'm trying to think. Like, what were the other shows? I watched Book of Boba Fett. I liked it better than The Mandalorian at the start, but I also don't like the show archetype that Mandalorian was. I didn't watch any of season 2. Yeah, season 2, except for, like, the very last episode. And even then, it was only because my wife and my sister-in-law were watching it, so I watched, like, the last... Like, I just didn't care. The random adventure each week, I just didn't care. You like the Obi-Wan more? And don't get me wrong, I'm not trying to say, like, if people like it, then, you know, you're stupid, you like bad things. That's not where I'm going with it. My point is just, I don't think it's for me. And that's why I don't usually bring it up unless somebody brings it up, because I don't want to crap on things that people like, because like what you like, it's fine. Like I saw whoever was saying it, that they didn't like the new movies. I really like the new movies, but they have a cool Darth Vader Obi-Wan fight scene. That's what I would like to see, but it's kind of like the fight scene at the end of Rogue One. It's like, okay, I'm going through this whole movie about things that it's a war movie, basically, like, right? It's a variation of Saving Private Ryan or any of the other World War II movies that they're you know, hundreds of, thousands of. And then at the end, Darth Vader shows up and is super cool, and it's like, okay, that it's fine to have either of those things. It's fine to have both of them together, but if I'm waiting the whole movie because, oh, there was this cool Darth Vader scene, it feels like it takes away from everything else, because and Jesus, there's so much fire here, for the record. There's stuff on lava, there's boss fire, there's all kinds of stuff. I don't know, it feels weird. You didn't like Rogue One? I didn't mind it. I thought it was cool. But you had to go in with a certain expectation in mind, I think. I don't know, the Star Wars stuff is super polarizing now for a variety of reasons, and I know I've talked in real life to a lot of, like, super heavy Star Wars fans that, like, hated the new stuff, and I just couldn't understand their complaints. Like, if you don't like the movies and again, I could go into it if people want to, but if you don't like the movies, that's fine. I don't really care what the reasons you don't like it are, because it's fine if you don't like it. Or if you like other ones, or dislike this, or like that, whatever, who cares? It's just all for funsies. It's fine. But I think there are more valid complaints and less valid complaints. So, for example, like Dr. Traffic, I forget exactly what it was, but basically he said, I didn't like this part about the new trilogy because he didn't like the way the story was being told, like the type of story. And if you don't like those type of stories, that's fine. But I think that's different than saying, well, it was just garbage. Because those are two different statements. One is much more reasonable. You can actually have a conversation about what are the merits or problems of a given type of story. In this case, it was a Chase the MacGuffin story. Versus, oh, well, that's garbage and it's just inherently bad. Well, okay, what am I supposed to say to that? You don't like it. Great. That's the end of the conversation, you know what I mean? Which is also fine, but there's nothing to discuss there. Not that you're required to discuss anything. I'm not one of those people that's like, you must debate me, because I just don't give a shit. It's Star Wars. Like, there are way bigger things going on in the world at all times, everywhere, all the places, at all the times, that are way more important than anything that could possibly be happening in Star Wars canon. Like, I can't get worked up over it. And I understand people that do to a degree, because I get worked up over, like, oh, well, this thing that I'm attached to, like, stuff that happens in Transformers, or around Transformers, or about Transformers, or G.I. Joe, or Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I get it. But at the same time, it's like, no one's gonna die as a result of those things. I got in Star Wars due to the fight scenes. Ironic, considering, unless you got in with the prequels, most of the fight scenes in the old movies were bad. Like in the original trilogy, they were not good. The Obi-Wan Vader fight in A New Hope is awful. It's awful. It's not a fight. Like, it's just not. It's stupid. And I've watched a lot of the Star Wars movies in recent times, because we were watching them again when everything was going on. I like Star Wars music. It's good. It is good. That's one of the good things about it. One of the really good things about it. But there's a lot of things. What's funny for Tute is I actually rank movie 7, which was, as you're saying, was basically A New Hope. I mean, all three of the new trilogy basically mirror a lot of the main story beats from the original trilogy. Obviously, they were doing that intentionally. But the remake of A New Hope basically was my least favorite by far. I really thought there were some silly things in there, and it just felt so redundant. And at the time, I really hated Kylo Ren. I mean, he's still a bad guy, so you hate the bad guy, right? But he just came across as so whiny and annoying, as opposed to imposing and threatening, which was kind of the point. But I don't think that was a worthwhile. They probably should have never bothered with that. Make the other bad guys the sniveling, whiny sycophants, and even though they may have power, that they're just, incompetent and just wielding someone else's power, as compared to where I didn't like how Kylo initially started out. That was my initial complaint, and Kylo grew on me as a character through the rest of the trilogy. But always love the Obi-Wan versus Anakin fight scene. I didn't really like the style, and this is just a personal thing, like, I didn't like the style of the prequel lightsaber fights for the most part. There were some that were different, and I did appreciate that the Jedi there was more Jedi stuff, because that's the thing that I like the most about Star Wars. And I thought that there were cool things about it, but some of it felt too flowery. Like, there was too much flair to everything, to the degree that it's like, okay, this is, and to an extent, as I understand it, because I don't fence. I have before, but I don't fence now, and I never really got that into it, that it wouldn't be too far off, and I could be wrong. Somebody in the YouTube comments will correct me on this, but I remember seeing something, and maybe it was completely wrong, because you can't believe everything on the internet, but it sounded like the style of fighting that they were doing wouldn't be too far off from something in real life, but it just still seemed somewhat ridiculous. Yeah, I personally rank the prequels. They are at the bottom of the list, and Phantom Menace is like, there are other series that I would put in before I wanted. I don't ever have a desire to watch any of the prequel movies ever again. There are cool parts of Phantom Menace, but overall, I felt that movie was just awful. I distinctly remember going to the movie theater, and that was the first movie I remember going to a movie and being angry that I watched the movie. Like, I wasted my time watching this, and it was bad. I don't know. Anyway, chat, we can keep talking Star Wars, but let's do another game review. Traded boss for a 1-key unit, but I still won. Timeout. They're zoning into Eternal Monday, and a boss hit the board. So our hero here is in the orange trunks. It's Hypereat going up against Alien Engineer, somebody who's made an appearance on the stream recently because they were kicking my teeth in. So we'll see what I can learn, and maybe we can pick up some stuff to fight Alien Engineer. I do appreciate this going second with the counter snowball and the body block from the cowbell, because you don't want to fireball the cowbell. It feels like a waste. Running this all the way out so that it gets healed is also valuable. But you get this free shot on their snowball, so it takes it out of commission for a little while. Your fireball will be back online before they're ready to go. And that means that you now have a panic point advantage and can start actually getting in position. Now, notably here, if there were a way to eliminate this cowbell, you could kill their murder wing or something, you know, fireball, meatball, but that's not going to be available. Cowbell has enough health that you're not one-shotting it unless you put in more effort, and there's really no way to get to it. The counter ball. I may have fallen asleep and I may have been woken by a cat that walked on me and began screeching. That sounds like a very cat owner problem there, Scrungle. As I understand it. You know, my wife has talked about wanting to get a cat in recent years, but I think she constantly forgets that she's actually allergic to cats. She wants it because we both are animal people. We moved in together. We were immediately talking about, and even before we moved in together, like before we were married, we were talking about what pets we were going to get and what dogs and things like that and all the different things that we wanted to do. And, I mean, I wouldn't mind having a cat. I don't know if she can hear me upstairs. I really wouldn't mind it, even though I'm not really a cat person, but I personally prefer dogs, and I think she just forgets. She gets overwhelmed by the cute factor and forgets that she's allergic. Glad my chat is the chilling version. I was going to say killing version, but I guess cats are in that vein too. Anyway, we'll get back to the game. We got maxed out phobies here, but obviously we're doing the... This is the part about Eternal Monday, just to give all those people out there that don't want to hear about my pet opinions. Give you a little more phobies action. This is one of the reasons I hate Eternal Monday, is it does devolve into this. I don't mind that some maps do this. There are maps that I like that do tend to devolve into this, we trade one keys back and forth. But there's something about Eternal Monday that just makes me want to tear my remaining hair out or my beard off. I guess whichever one you feel is more painful. I don't know. It just makes me want to scream because it just feels absurd. And everything in and around Eternal Monday seems to revolve around a single play. Like, there's one play that happens because somebody slightly missteps and then it costs you the entire game, even if it's multiple turns later, because it just snowballs from there. So we'll see what happens here. 7 keys for Alien Engineer, 5 for our hero. We'll see what they can do. Get a little hydrate action. It really does feel eternal. Yeah, I mean, I guess the name is apt. So we're going in. There's going to be some violence to be had here. Hypereat has taken a very aggressive line here. Obviously, this goes down. It's possible the snowball and the murder wing go down. They must have calculated the damage that this would not be enough. Okay, they are going to get it, because this is a cool play. Get the Gravedigger break into the Gin Sting in order to trade those out. So 6 keys down. Snowball and Murder Wing for just the Murder Wing. That's a lot of very valuable resources. Aside from the fact that there was an enormous tempo loss from our orange player, because obviously you lost all that stuff and you were banking for this boss that came out. But those are valuable resources just from a mobility perspective, a damage perspective. They do a lot. That's why you see those phobies every game. The Eternal Monday effect seems to constantly turn people into Garfield. Fair, Scrungle. So we did briefly have triple panic point advantage orange, now 2-1, so still panic point advantage hero, but 2 phobies to 4. 6 keys remaining for each player. Let's hope Alien Engineer can pass the interview. Spoiler alert. I guess technically, because I'm sure we're going to see a boss ability, Alien Engineer did pass the interview, and boss says, you're fired at some point. But we get a cowbell here. Obviously getting in position to recap a point. I imagine this is where we're going to lose. Nope, we're not. We're actually only halfway through the game, chat. Bo Mangles comes down. We have double turret going in. It's going to be exceptionally difficult for our bad guy to actually crack this. They do have 5 keys left, so they could go back to the key trading game. It's 5-3. So you could, of course, just send in 1-drops over and over and over again and recap points. Yes, Hero will be able to kill it. Ooh, clever. You don't see this very often in high-level games where you get the block, because most of the time it's, you know, they're not using these sort of phobies. I mean, Crushmore does show up, but not necessarily Gravedigger. Most of the time, the other player is making it a less valuable prospect. But in this case, we do, in fact, see a block that is pretty useful because you can't immediately start beating up the Gravedigger on the return. And instead, now it's triple panic point advantage. Bad guy. Heart health 33-40 to 45-15. Advantage for our hero, but not overwhelmingly so. And of course, as you'd imagine, we're getting follow-up 1-drops. Our bad guy can, of course, expend this stuff. I guess this is where we're going to lose the boss. Here's the You're Fired coming in. It's max phobies for our hero. They can reach the boss if they want to lose the jar. We get double hit from Ginsting, double hit, or single hit from Crushmore. You could get a fireball from Snowball and a hit from Cat, so maybe this is enough to kill it. We'll see if this is the turn that boss goes down. We do get the follow-up Clinico, of course, for the boss. So they're going to elect to use the jar. And in fact, there is the 1-drop. The boss does trade with the 1-drop, but not exactly what you want to do. I have to wonder, was the jar hit required? I imagine it had to be, or Alien Engineer wouldn't have just done it. But it is still panic point advantage orange because the cat didn't actually get to claim the point. Oh, I just don't like the map, Taco. I just don't like the map. It's not that Eternal Monday's bad. I mean, I could make an argument for why it's bad, because I think the play pattern on it is frustrating. They needed every hit? Alright, DT. This is why, before we keep going, because this is why, one of the many reasons I want map stats. Because I would love to know, do I dislike these maps simply because I'm losing on them? Or do I just not like it? Because it would help shape my opinion on some of these maps. I don't know if I am actually doing poorly on Eternal Monday. I might be doing fine. And by fine, I mean close to 50-50. Because I remember, humans remember streaky things, right? You remember the times where you lost 10 games in a row, or you think it was 10 games in a row. But realistically, you actually won 11 out of those 10. It's just that you had 5 of the losses together, and the human brain does weird stuff sometimes. And that could be what's happening for some of these maps. Personally, I think I'm saying personally too many times because I'm getting tired. It feels like the issue for me is not the wins and losses, it's the play pattern, but that might not be the case. So when we last left the game, we got an AWOL in, we have a Ginsting. I don't know what Alien Engineer goes here. Honestly, that boss trade in retrospect doesn't seem heinous. Doesn't seem horrendous. We're just getting a recap here because obviously bad guy's hard health is getting low. Just over 2k. The Spud here is the final phobie. Lob makes sense. While that play a few turns ago with the Gravedigger was pretty cool to allow the takedown on the Murder Wing, I don't know if it had to go that way, and the reason that matters is I feel that the Gravedigger has done mostly nothing. It did have that interesting play at the top, but I don't know, it just doesn't seem like the Gravedigger's doing all that much that's valuable. Is this Spud just dead? No. Spud will live. The Spud lives. In fact, it's probably the Bo Mangles that's dead very soon. I mean, Alien Engineer's not in a terrible position. This Bowmangles is getting clobbered. Although this is a great play by Hypereat here, killing the Dimensional Phobie to get pulled out of range. Although, I guess this could just come in and kill it anyway, but it would have to stand on fire. No, the fire's going to go away. It could show up here. We get the kill on Ginsting, the takedown here on Gravedigger, and all of a sudden it's Spud versus the world. You can go ahead and kill that Bowmangles. It's probably not going to matter. This was a very tight game. The boss, with the dead boss, I don't know. Did it really matter? I'm sure in the moment it felt crippling. But the way a lot of these exchanges went down, oh, this is going to be closer than I thought. 1,800 to 1,500. Spud on the stim. How much does Spud do? So you need, like, 1.5 turns. And you're not going to get 1.5 turns. That's a lot of panic point damage coming through. I love Spud's attack animation, by the way. Love the Spud attack animation. But yeah, this is very well played by Hypereat. I think if... I like the initial play with Snowball, and then it just kind of felt like... I'm trying to think if there was something specific that we can learn from here since we're talking about Eternal Monday and not being fans of it. Like, this was cool to get the hit on this. It takes their Snowball out of commission. I think the dives were pretty unique in the sense that, like, I don't think I would have made the call to go in like this to kill the Murder Wing, because I think... So, for example, here, this jar could have just killed this. Then this for 533. Plus, I can't click on the Contortio because of where it was. 8, 9 and change. Like, these two would have killed this, and then you don't have to have that Gravedigger. Instead of doing this, like, yes, you're staving off some of the damage, which is important. And maybe the idea here is also this protects this, because otherwise this can invade and then this gets it. And you're also advancing Ginsting, so, like, this play seems still fine. Hypereat seems to have come out at a pretty grave disadvantage there. Obviously, the boss invade later. The double turret setup here, I guess, is also notable. We were talking earlier, either last night or tonight, about not having a whole lot of turrets showing up. But we're getting 2 here, and they worked out pretty well because it was very difficult for Alien Engineer to actually try and claim these. And although we saw Panic Point, or triple Panic Point advantage blue here, it was, for most of the game, it felt like it was orange, even though it came down close at the end. The boss invade here was apparently ill-advised, but at the same time, it... So here's the weird thing. This boss play means boss is dead, right? They had to commit all this stuff. Yes, it seems really bad that you were, like, -5 keys, ultimately. Hey, Kratos, what's good? Movement is important on Eternal Monday. Generally, I'd agree, but here we're seeing the success of double turret, which is why I wanted to talk about it. So we get the jar, so it's, or -4 keys, not -5 keys, because it was the cat and the jar for boss. And, because boss is 8, right? For a second, I thought it was 9. So, like, this position looks really bad for Alien Engineer, because the Gravedigger is mostly useless, I think. It could have done some slightly different stuff, but... And this Snowball kind of took itself out of the fight for a few turns. A couple of turns. This whole set of plays felt desperate, but ultimately, despite... Maybe not desperate. Maybe it was... Well, this only has 600 health. I don't know. It's weird because on the surface, you're trading boss for cat and jar. And if you were on the other end of that exchange, your jar and your cat for their boss, you probably take that most of the time. But it appears that like that trade ultimately favored Hypereat just from a positioning perspective, where 35.75 to 22, it just feels like it's verging on impossible for Alien Engineer to dislodge these phobies, because this needs to heal for a few turns. This was sent over to here to heal for a few turns. This can't go in without support. This thing is strictly just recapping points, so I don't know. Maybe a Thunder Rock's could have come in handy? Maybe. I mean, the Spud comes in late. I mean, comparatively late. It's not late compared to this turn, but I don't know about this block either. I mean, I get it. The only thing that seems a little weird is why not have the Clinico on this point so that they just straight up can't reclaim with AWOL, but this might have been a bait to get the AWOL to come in so you can kill it with the Clinico and then remove it from the board. Otherwise, that thing is, well, they kill it with Stabby, but like, otherwise that thing is still running around. It ultimately results in just one turn worth of damage there, but I don't know. It's just, this feels strange, chat. The overall feeling that I'm getting from this is this feels strange. Because you had what looked like two really bad invades. Maybe not really bad, but two negative invades. Where you're down 3 keys, but again, it's not just 3 keys from the Snowball Murder Wing to Murder Wing exchange. You lose the Snowball Murder Wing, so you lose a bunch of map presence and a bunch of damage. Admittedly, alternating turn damage, but still. Then the boss trade seems really bad because it's, oh, well, they lose the cat in the jar and then everything else heals up. But it was just a big tempo play. It's interesting. It was very well played by Hypereat. Well played. But that's going to do it for Phobies. That's going to do it for Phobies. If you are not part of the Discord, or if you're not followed either here on Twitch, RTChompGG over on Twitch, by the way, or subscribed on YouTube, hit me up with a subscribe and a like, because it definitely helps out. You can get all the other links in the description. But for tonight, everybody, as always, thank you for listening, thank you for watching, and Black Lives Matter.